There's a reason that the old corporate media is dead, and this article I'm going to present to you tonight is simply proof positive of what's already there. It's an article from CNN. It was shared by one of my people on Facebook, as a matter of fact. So for those of you who are on my Facebook friends list, and if you tag me in a post or something, you wonder, Jason was just saying that to get this out the inbox. Well, if you're in my inbox, you'll get banned if you just keep sending me stuff. But in case you were wondering whether or not I actually look at the things I'm tagged in, yes, if you're on my friends list and you tag me in something, an article, a video, or whatever, I'll actually take a look at it. And this was one that was sent to me by somebody here. And CNN put up this article a few days ago. As you can see it, macho alpha males are everywhere. Men's circles are modeling another way to be a man. What? Now, first of all, take a look at that title. Macho alpha males are everywhere. What the hell is wrong with being an alpha male? What's wrong with that? Well, first of all, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the writer of the article? I think we can latch on to some clues from there. This is Miss Harmeet Kaur. Miss Harmeet Kaur, who is defining apparently and redefining, or at least demonstrating what all it takes to become a writer at CNN. Apparently this is all it requires of you here. When you take a look down her list of articles, she seems very concerned about men. As a matter of fact, that seems to be the only thing she's concerned about. She's bombing on Ashton Hall. Observers say more insidious messages that distort our perceptions of masculinity. So they have sent this little twerp here. They have a female who is obsessed with arguing with men over masculinity. This is what we got. A female who is obsessed with arguing with men over masculinity. As if we need her to tell us who and what we are and who and what we're doing. Apparently, we were not smart enough to figure this out on our own. We were not smart enough to have this for ourselves. So apparently, we needed her to come along and tell us, by the way, you take a look here, this is the only thing she writes about. This is it. They hired her to argue about men all over the place. Some women are considering the 4B movement. I mean, this woman is virulently, nakedly, shamelessly anti-male. Shamelessly so. And of course, that has not prevented her from getting a job at CNN. Because, of course, why would it? And then they wonder, actually they don't wonder. Please understand, these are publicly traded companies. They got billions of dollars. And this is what they spend their money on. Just remember that. This is what they deem worthy of spending what little revenue they still do get. This is what they spend it on. This is it. Right here. So, with that being the case, I just want you to understand that this is multi-billion-dollar companies that are dedicated to the task of attacking and destroying men. Now, this is why it's important to everyone, male, female, and otherwise. You do realize we live in a day and era where the average 17-year-old male, regardless of race, region of the country, the average 17-year-old male doesn't know how to change a flat tire. What? Do you understand that? The average 17-year-old male doesn't know how to change a flat tire, doesn't know how to change brake pads on a car, doesn't know how to change an alternator, doesn't know how to use a power saw, doesn't know how to use a chainsaw, doesn't know how to use a socket set. Think about that for just a few moments here. This is not something that's on its way. This is not something that might happen in the far-flung future. This is where we are. This dystopian nightmare. This is where we are today, right now. Now, yes, there are a number of different causes and reasons for that. But the bottom line is when you have a corporate media that gets advertising dollars from the biggest other corporations, actually get government subsidies. Please don't forget that. Please don't forget that. They get government subsidies. I dare anyone to argue with me over that one. And this is what they dedicate themselves to promoting in the environment, in the society. In a day and age where we need boys inculcated in the ways of masculine men more than ever, what they're trying to tell the boys is that basically the only thing wrong with you is that you weren't born girls. And that if only you could tap into your feminine, the only thing wrong with you is you haven't tapped into your feminine side. And that's the only thing wrong with you, is you haven't investigated more into being a girl. And that's literally what they're promoting to you now. Just in case you wonder what it was. So this is the front page of their article here. You can clearly see where it's going. You can clearly see where it's going, and I want you all to understand it seems grim. As always, if you focus on the nutcases and the psychos out there, it seems grim. And please understand, there's a reason why. I want to touch on this real quickly here. There's a reason why you see this kind of stuff happening. There's a reason why, and it goes all the way up to the very top of the government. No, I'm not being conspiratorial or hyperbolic. I mean it just like that. We'll come back to that in just a little bit here. What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to read from the article here itself because, boy, oh boy, hang on to your hats. Hang on to your hats here. Tyrone Marsh felt a void in his life. He was in his 40s and married with 2 kids. A self-described extrovert, he socialized often, but living in New York after years of moving around, he realized his existing relationships lacked a certain level of depth. His conversations with other men tended to revolve around sports or romantic pursuits, and he longed for more substance.
Nigga, please.
More substance, y'all. This sounds like the start of a gay love novel. What's going on here? What's wrong with men sitting and discussing sports? Romantic pursuits, not really sure what that means. What's wrong with men discussing sports? What's wrong with that? So she's telling you everything is wrong with you. Everything, men like, that's what's wrong with you. You need to be discussing something else. And please understand, you have to consider sources of things, because if you listen to Miss Harmeet Kaujah there, whatever her name is, you listen to her, just please understand one thing. This is what you'll get. You listen to her, and this is the kind of female that you'll get. So listening to her advice is a owner's manual for achieving a female like this. So just remember, consider your source. In other words, he wanted real friends. In 2018, in search of connection. Folks, do you hear this? In search of connection, he came across a meetup group that he thought was a book club. Yeah, I bet he did. It was something else, a men's book club. Are you kidding me? A book club for men. First of all, if it was, what in the Epstein Island is this? It was something else entirely. Of course it was. The Mankind Project, capital K in kind. An organization offering intensive retreats and support groups to help men improve their relationships with themselves and others. Intrigued, Marsh decided to join one of the organization's men's circles, or structured spaces in which men gather regularly to talk. Let me explain something to you right here. One of the hallmarks of being men is that we are linear. If we get together to, quote, talk, there needs to be an exchange of information, because as men, the best way to dull and to completely dilute the masculine mind is to get men together talking babble, getting men talking in circles. Men are goal-oriented. The way in which you keep us masculine and sharp and capable is that when we get together, you must sharpen the sword. You have to keep us sharp. We're machines that require a significant amount of maintenance, and mental maintenance is we are goal-oriented. Rob us of our goals, and you have robbed us of our identity and our purpose for living and our ability to exist, which is precisely what Miss Harmeet here is looking to do. She's looking to brainwash you because she obviously despises men at the very highest levels, and that qualified her for a job at no less than CNN. So if you fellas ever wonder why you couldn't get a job there, this is the kind of intellect and mentality that is able to get a job at CNN. Intrigued, Marsh decided to join one of the organization's men's circles, or structured spaces in which men gather regularly to talk. At his first meeting, he found what he had been missing all his life. Did he find this group, or did he start this group? Quote, I can sit there with this group of men and fumble through whatever these thoughts are that I'm having. Whatever these thoughts are. And those men hold the space for me and ask questions, and I don't feel like I'm being judged. Brother, I mean, I know you married with children. I'm assuming married to a woman. You might be married to a woman with children. Hey, brother, if you tried to come out, just go ahead and come on out. She probably already suspects it and knows it anyway, but y'all hear the coded language here? These thoughts I'm having. I won't be judged. Yeah, okay. If I'm sitting next to another man and he tell me he's having thoughts, but he doesn't want to be judged. Like, okay, suicidal thoughts? No. Homicidal thoughts? No. Nothing like that. Abusing the kids? No. What the hell kind of thoughts you having? And why you gotta tell me? Marsh's quest for connection, notice she uses that word again, underscores a major challenge that many men currently face. So let me get this straight. This rather unappealing woman here is trying to dictate to us what challenges men face. A female who has made it her obsession, her fixation, to tell men what men think. Okay. By the way, do they have any male writers who get to write about females all day and tell women, by the way, here's what you need to think, ladies? While men and women alike are experiencing a rise in loneliness and isolation, men struggle especially to form deep friendships, a trend that scholars and researchers warn has serious implications. Socially isolated men are creating more work for their wives and girlfriends. They're falling prey to an online pipeline of misogyny, and in severe cases, they face heightened risks of depression, suicide, and domestic violence. At a time when some men are finding community in toxic parts of the manosphere, men's circles offer another, more positive model of masculinity. Now, she's telling you that she can't think of anything positive except this feminine presenting male attending group. But don't worry, folks. If you want to know how much of a goofball and a jackass this writer here is, before the article is over, even she will have to concede to it. And it's a beautiful thing. But we're going to slow roast it right quick. Experts say there's a growing appetite for these groups across the US, UK, Canada, and Australia. And Marsh and others who participate in them say they're challenging deeply entrenched ideas about what it means to be a man. Now, I want you to keep this sentence in mind. She said that experts say there's a growing appetite for these groups across the US, UK, and Canada and Ireland. What this woman, I use woman in quotations, understand, she is going to admit that she's lying before this article is over. I want you all to understand there is only one place on this planet that you are not legally allowed, or that you are prevented from being able to legally lie. That is in a court of law. Every other place, unfortunately, in this planet, and certainly in this nation, you can lie through your teeth. You'll only be held accountable in a court of law if you're lying. So she's lying right here, and before the article is over, that sentence that she just said, she is literally going to say that that's not true. But she starts off the article saying that. She never defines who the experts are, what makes them experts, and she doesn't say whose appetite for this is growing. Because you see, if she says that, well, for man-hating feminist nutcases like me, the appetite for this is growing with people like me. Because that sentence would lead you to think that the appetite for it is growing among men. Even though the sentence doesn't actually say that, it says experts say there's a growing appetite. Did you notice that she never said who the appetite is growing among? Just thought I'd point it out. Men's circles are challenging norms. By the way, she never advises what female norms need to be challenged. I'm sure the only thing... The norms that say that women just need to get along with men, that needs to be challenged. Through years of participation in men's circles, Marsh, who is currently Mankind Project USA's co-chair for intercultural competence and belonging. What in the unholy gender studies is this? What the hell kind of title is that? What masculine male who isn't running around wearing satin and lace wants to be the co-chair for intercultural competence and belonging? What in the hell is intercultural competence, and where is your proof that you are actually competent? Intercultural competence and belonging. Let's be clear about something. As men, we are not defined by our ability to, quote, belong. We are defined by our ability to persevere, to lead. That's where we get community from with us. You earn your right to belong among the men. That is what makes us men. You're not born a man. You must qualify for it. And clearly this guy is failing across the board. Straight F's. As men, you don't get to belong by discussing your feelings. You get to belong by pulling your weight and pulling your load and demonstrating your value to the group. That's how a man qualifies himself to belong among other men. That's the competence you have to have. Sitting around with roses, picking petals, and talking about your toenail polish, that's not how you belong among men. It says he's built a network of close friends he can rely on. Not a one of them can change a tire. Not a one of them can work a power tool. Pause. Not a one of them is going to be reliable for any type of mechanical repairs or anything. Just forget about it. That in turn has taught him a lot about himself. Now, if he's unsure about something at work, he admits, instead of spiraling internally about not being good enough, he lets himself cry in front of his children. What? So they know it's okay to show emotion. He makes it, people, a grown man crying in front, listen to me. A grown man ain't supposed to cry in front of his kids unless somebody done died. And even then, I'm not co-signing it even then. How do you establish yourself as the rock of the family and you falling apart with the kids? You and the kids over there in the damn corner sitting up here bawling and boo-hooing. You have to understand, you all think that man-hating feminism is relegated to the United States. Oh, no. From the Middle East, in India, in Asia, there's a bunch of chicks out there. They were left without a chair when the masculine music stopped. And ever since then, they got daddy issues, mommy issues. They just say some of the craziest stuff here. And then they get employed to say it. And then these networks are wondering why they're going out of business so quickly. So, crying in front of your children. Let me tell you something. A man crying in front of his children is almost as bad as walking around naked in front of your children. What? Yes, I said that. Yes, I said that. A man, understand something. Let me explain to you all the first problem here that this psycho, whacked out, cheesecake eating sycophant here doesn't understand and never will. People, you're a man, an adult, isn't supposed to lower themselves to the level of a child. You and the children are not peers. A man is not a peer with his children. And when you start treating your children as if you are their peer, you don't have any place being their father anymore. They're your children, not your peer. And she's sitting here giving you an instruction manual on how to be your children's peer. And oh, that's good. That's what you need to be. So now the women and the children will be lording over you. What type of nonverbal communication does that give children that their father is coming home? Oh, talking about he's not spiraling at work. No, he comes home and spirals in front of the children. CNN paid this ridiculous little idiotic piece of filth here to sit up here and encourage men. You need to go home and have emotional breakdowns in front of your children, as if your children are there to be your support group. Your children are not supposed to hear about your damn job. Your children are not supposed to hear about your problems with the mama. Your children are not supposed to hear about your problems with your family. Your children are not supposed to be your peers and that they're in on and we sit around the table and discuss that. The hell we do. They are not your peers. They're not your support group. They're not your social circle. And some whacked out psychotic reject from Epstein Island by way of East India is now sitting up here telling everybody, telling the men, you know, what you need to be is a weaker, more broken down version of you. That makes you a good man. If you can emotionally break down in front of your children, that makes you a good man to me. So just understand what they're telling you there. That a man needs to break down crying in front of his children, that's a good thing. That's a terrible thing. Children need to see a father who is completely grounded. The boys will model themselves after him, and the girls will look for men who exemplify that. So when the world is crashing down around your ears, they know where to go. And as children, you learn to respect him because he's able to do something that you're not able to do. That is what gains a man respect, through his actions, not his words. So the family respects you as the masculine figure, not because not crying is easy, but because not crying is difficult. That the rest of them, it was overwhelming, and you were still able to hold together. They immediately recognize he's able to do something we're not able to do. And that's what gains you your respect among the women and the children. But that only works for a woman who wants to respect a man. If you have someone like this whacked out, imbalanced, whack job here, this escapee from the Betty Ford clinic, well, then don't worry about that. It would be a waste. Can you imagine being in a relationship with that lunatic? Oh, could you imagine being in a relationship with that lunatic? He lets himself cry in front of his children, so they know it's okay to show emotion. He makes an effort to think before he speaks. You notice she doesn't have anything positive to say about men whatsoever. Everything is just negative and hateful. She doesn't have a single positive response or comment about men whatsoever. Quote, we're taught as men to suppress our feelings, not suppress them, control them. Not suppress your feelings, control your feelings. You cannot be disciplined and at the same time not be in control of your feelings. And the times in this world when you will most need to be disciplined are the times that are most emotionally trying. When men in particular respond emotionally as opposed to logically, things go to hell and lots of bad things happen. We're taught as men to suppress our feelings, to just do it by ourselves. Man up and be strong. I know for me, that was isolating, he says. These circles flip the script. Now, so what he's saying is he couldn't cut it as a man. He couldn't cut it as a man. Doesn't even sound like he wants to be a man. And so he found a psychotic, antisocial, mentally screwed up writer at CNN who was looking for just his type. Oh, you hate men? So do I. Let's write an article. Men's circles run by trained facilitators. Trained by whom? Tend to follow a similar structure. First, the facilitator sets some ground rules for the meeting. What, you have to wear paisley and pink? Attendees then introduce themselves and check in with each other about how they're feeling. They might engage in another icebreaker. People, these icebreaker feelings, what the hell is this, a cocktail party? A singles mixer? Because that's damn sure what this sounds like, a mixer for singles. And this is all it takes to get a job as a writer at CNN. Don't know if they're paid or not, but this is all it takes to get a job there writing. They might engage in another icebreaker before eventually sharing what's going on in their lives, discussing everything from relationship issues to career challenges to a health crisis. The men take turns listening to each other and offer each other feedback. Finally, the meeting closes with some takeaways or perhaps just acknowledgement or gratitude for what was just accomplished. What the hell was accomplished? We sat and talked about our feelings. That's the accomplishment. Getting in touch with your girly side. These gatherings, hell no, I'm not going to change my damn voice. If I have to read nonsense, I'm going to sound nonsensical. These gatherings help men strengthen social circles, social skills, and their relationships with other men, says Pasco Ashton, co-founder and executive director of the UK-based organization Men's Circles. Quote, now listen to this next part, y'all. Listen to this next part. What in the Gloria Steinem is this? Men don't really have the tools, he says. They haven't learned the same tools that I think women do in social situations. What? To have small talk, to connect deeper emotionally, all the emotional intelligence that is part of what we practice. Well, there it is. So, her agenda with this article, folks, I'm not being hyperbolic. The title of the video is very accurate. Well, she's telling you that the only problem with men is that they don't try harder to be women. They don't have the same tools that women do in social situations. What tool is it that a woman has that a man needs? What tool in a social situation does a woman have that a man doesn't have that he needs? Apparently, according to him, the only thing we're missing is we just need to be women. That realization is what led Ashton to start the men's circle in 2020. He felt helpless after losing 2 friends to suicide. He also wanted to work on himself after conversations with female friends about Me Too. And generally, he felt lonely and unable to confide in most of his male friends. Hell yeah, because don't no man want a male friend like this? What the hell we gonna do with him? He's coming over talking about, did you watch the latest episode of The Young and the Restless? Did you tune into the Hallmark Channel, the latest Lifetime movie? When he talks about going to the mall and hanging out, he's talking about going to the damn restaurant, just the 2 of you on a dude date. Now, I want you to see this next thing on your screens here. This next screen says it all. This is the picture here from their male group. So if you want to know some of what they do there, this is a grown man literally laying across the laps of other grown men. In case you didn't know, the camera is overhead. This guy is lying across their laps. He's not on a table. He's laying across the laps of other grown men. This is daddy issues. First of all, this is daddy issues. Second of all, the daddy issues aren't just with him. It's with all these other folk. Will you please explain to me how in the hell this doesn't end up on Lil Nas X Alley, laying across the laps of other fellas? Show of hands in the chat room. How many men in here have been in the lap of another man since you were 19 years old? Give me the bed emoji if you have. Give me the red X emoji if you haven't. And hit the likes button. There's over 1,500 people in here live. But fellas, if you've been in the lap of another man since you were 19 years old, give me the bed emoji in the chat room. But if you haven't, you have not been in the lap of another man since what, 3rd grade or whatever. If you got a dad, give me the X emoji. Yeah, somebody said, if he was at Diddy's place, I'm like, okay, well, that's what they trained him for that. This on the screen, this is what Harmeet Kaur thinks men are supposed to be. That men are supposed to be laying on top of each other and feeling on top of each other. This is what she thinks she's going to influence you and coerce you to be. She's totally out of touch. That we're laughing at her, we're mocking her, we're ridiculing her, we're condemning her. What ain't happening is men saying, you know what, I'd like to try that. There might be some fellas at Frank Ocean's house, interested in doing that. But for the rest of the male population, yeah, this really ain't doing nothing. Oh, concerned black mom put up the bed emojis. Damn! Okay, I thought it was the fellas there for a minute. I didn't know what it was. I thought that was a fella there for a minute. I was about to say, stop the whole damn program. I was about to go ahead and fire up the Zoom and say, stop the whole damn program. Who the hell put the bed emojis up? Nigga, call in and give an account of yourself. No, I ain't got nothing else to say. You must call in and give an accounting of yourself. Immediately, if not sooner. But on your screen, this is a picture from the article showing you what they do at their men's circles. Fellas, can't you feel the masculinity in you just growing? Fellas, don't you feel like doing some yard work, fixing on a car, building a electrical grid or an internet infrastructure, building a highway, installing HVAC? Don't you feel like doing that now, fellas, now that you've seen this? Doesn't this inspire you to be a more masculine male, fellas? Because remember, the masculine is supposed to be the opposite of the feminine, and they're telling you, no, being masculine means being feminine. A man can be a woman. A woman can never be a man. Why would she ever want to be one? But a man can be one. You take a look at the psychoses that's going on over there on that side of the fence and in the corporate media. You see what's happening over there, man? It'd be funny if they weren't trying to be serious about it. Somebody in the chat room said the warrior class says, oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, my friend. I got your warrior class for you right here. I know what you're thinking, but just keep those words in mind about the warrior class, because I got your warrior class right here coming up for you. So as you can see, this is what they do in their little groups there. And they want us to know that we're not real men because we don't see the value in this, and we're not reporting for duty in Daisy Duke's army. All right, the article here goes on to say, men are improving their relationships as a result. Now listen to this next part. The reason so many men seem to lack deep connections isn't because of some innate biological difference, says Niobe Way, author of Rebels with a Cause, Reimagining Boys, Ourselves, and Our Culture. So you notice that they keep telling us that we need to consult these man-hating women. The men, the only thing the men need to do is talk to some women to find out how to be better men. From women who usually identify as lesbian and bisexual and don't want any relationship with a man. But they keep telling us that the experts on men's behavior, the experts on how to be better men, are always women. That's what they're telling you. The only people you need to talk to about being a better man is women. They keep consulting women. You need to listen to this woman over here. She'll tell you what you're missing. Now, they won't bring any men in to tell Harmeet, whatever her name is, Harmeet Kara, how to be better women. She's like, oh, no, we already got that. In studying adolescent development for more than 4 decades, she's found that boys do want intimate friendships. Grooming anyone? But as they get older, the pressure to man up, you mean grow up, results in what Way calls a crisis of connection. Men don't have problems making connections with other masculine men because men are agenda-driven, we're goals-oriented, we're duty-driven. That's fine. We don't look for other men to sit around and discuss our damn feelings with. You got a broad for that. You can discuss your feelings with a broad and don't even do that very long. None of this reinforces your competence or capability as a man. This is a slippery slope into femininity. That's all she's describing is femininity. Marsh felt that acutely growing up. She's talking about the guy they started the article talking about. Now listen to this part here. He was raised in the inner city of Nashville with an incarcerated father and an abusive stepfather. In a home where, quote, there was no such thing as emotional intelligence. Any hint of perceived softness was met with harsh discipline, treated as something to be stamped out. Now, did you notice where this man-hating degenerate at CNN, you notice that she mentions father and stepfather. What about the mom? Hey, Harmeet the whack job. By the way, what about the mother? You left out, we're supposed to be focusing on the women, aren't we? All of a sudden, she doesn't want to discuss women anymore. Now, isn't that amazing? All of a sudden, she spent the whole article talking about we need to check in with the women. We need to check in with the women. You need to get closer to the women. All right, it's time to talk about his background. She wants to discuss everything except the women. So we don't want to talk about how abusive the mother was. Well, yeah, that would screw up your narrative. Like he was just raised by just his father. Father goes to prison and hands him off to a stepdad. Stepdad, wait a minute now. Doesn't that mean mama chose again? So mama chose a jailbird and an abuser because mama is. So just understand, this is what it takes to be a writer at CNN. And then they wonder why the ratings have fallen off of a cliff. And I get more views here than they do. Actually, they don't wonder. They're just throwing good money after bad at this point. And they're not going to let it go. So off into bankruptcy you'll go. But in any case, Marsh tried to model another way for his two children, letting them know their feelings were valid and that their voices deserved to be heard. But some ingrained ideas proved hard to shake. Before Marsh started attending men's circles, his son, Capella, 20, says he felt that he and his older sister were sometimes held to a different standard when it came to showing emotions. Quote, at times, my emotions were valued, but her emotions were 100% of the time valued, he says. For me, there needed to be an extra step of, this is how you're feeling, but what are you going to do with this? Yeah! Rather than, this is how you're feeling and be able to sit back. Because men can't do that. We built the society. We built the world. The world is depending on us. We can't sit back with our damn feelings. You can feel however you want to, and the goal is to get to a point where you shake that off. You want to know why it is that females are on antidepressants? It's because these same crazy ass people in the corporate media have influenced and conditioned the females to do the same thing, as opposed to meeting with an emotion and then resolving it. They tell you that your goal is to simply drown in your emotions. Never get to a point of resolving it. Always be recycling it, wallowing in it. That's always the goal. The goal is never to resolve your feelings. This is why the females today cannot stand being around other females, because if they have an issue, if they have a problem, it doesn't actually get resolved. They just come back day after day, week after week, year after year, recycling the same conversations over and over and over again. The same man, the same job, the same debt, the same student loans, the same indecisiveness. It never gets resolved. They just say, well, I have a right to feel how I'm feeling. We discuss my feelings. We wallow in it. And then we come back tomorrow, rinse and repeat. And this is the reason why the overwhelming majority of females don't answer the phone for other females. And when women are required to sit and talk to each other about what their problems may be, it usually ends in the women fighting or getting up and walking away from each other. And every female in here who works at a job with other women, you know damn well you get a whole lot more resolve with the men than you do with other females. Women can't resolve nothing with other women. You can't manage other women. You can't correct other women. You can't direct other women. You can't do that. Not at all. Women know that. They know full well they can't do that ever. Other women will just get angry with you, just get upset with you. And by the way, women know once you made an enemy out of a female, you made an enemy for life. That heifer ain't never gonna let that go. She is never going to let that go. You know that. Women understand that. You have a falling out with another female. This is a blood debt. You two are going to be mortal enemies. She is never going to let that go. She's never going to excuse it. She's never going to forgive it. She's going to try to find anybody and everybody she can to turn against you. She is going to go to war against you, either overtly or covertly. But you can forget peace. That ain't happening. Not gonna happen. Especially if there's a man involved or money involved. If there's a man or money involved, oh, that's it, lifetime enemy. And I'm talking about many of your cases in your own family. What? Damn! Oh yeah, one more thing. I'm talking about many of your cases in your own family. The women in your family, your sisters, your cousins, even your mama, talking about that too. Nigga, please! There's some women in here listening to me now tonight. Your mama is upset with you over a man. We ain't gonna get into the seedy underbelly of it. There's women in here listening to me right now tonight. You and your mama ain't good today over a man. Your mama got debutante syndrome, thought she was gonna stay in the field longer than she could. She had a dude, he saw you, she ain't got a dude no more. She wanted you to hurry the hell up. Guilty dogs in there barking. She wanted you to hurry the hell up and grow up. Get your ass out the house so she won't have live-in competition. That's what happens when you sit back with your feelings. That's what happens when that occurs. Because a competent man in the home would not allow that. He'd be like, yeah, this ain't going to happen. This ain't going to happen. Capilla, what a name for a boy, says he internalized that pressure growing up, feeling like he needed to prove himself to be taken seriously. Yeah, that's called manhood. This poor fella here, raised by this limp-ass banana peel of a dad, with his unresolved mommy issues. His issues are not unresolved daddy issues. His issues were unresolved mommy issues. See, when a lot of males grow up with a deficient female, they attempt to replace that and build that feminine energy that they feel they miss. They start trying to replicate it within themselves. This is why you have so many effete presenting males raised by single mothers. They follow that example one way or the other. If there isn't one, they try to build it in themselves. And all they take from it is being a boy is bad. Being a male is bad. If I were just more of a girl, I'd be okay. If I were just more of a girl, I'd be all right. And so this is how you make generational deviancy. But a man, I saw the program saying, a man is supposed to prove himself. You're supposed to prove yourself as a man. We are supposed to be competitive. The status of humanity today is a testament to masculine competitiveness. We kept going and kept going and kept going, subjugated as much as possible. We did that. That's what we're supposed to do as men. We're supposed to keep proving things. We're supposed to do that. You got a male here telling you that he's offended by that. I feel I have to keep proving myself. That tells you your daddy did not perform his basic task of demonstrating masculinity and proving yourself. But when you have a father who you know has failed at proving himself, the dad has failed as a man, then he's teaching his son, well, yeah, masculinity is overrated. But he started to notice changes in his father once he got involved with the Mankind Project. What, did he go from wearing satin to silk? What kind of change did he make? Marsh began asking his son more open-ended questions, trying to get to the root of why he felt a particular way. It took Capella some adjusting to. He was used to following his dad's advice, and it felt like his dad wasn't interested in giving it anymore. Capella now realizes that his dad was training him to trust his intuition. Men are not supposed to trust our intuition. We're supposed to trust our judgment. Trial and error. Stub your toe. Hit your shin. Bump your knee. Scrape your knees. Cut your fingers. Burn your hand. That's how we as men learn. Testing the world, challenging the world, facing adversity head on, overcoming it. That's how we learn, and then we lead through our judgment. The females are protected because they've got uteruses and it takes 9 months to have a kid. They have to be protected, so they have to rely on intuition. That type of adventurism that men do would be too hazardous for females, and numerically speaking, the species would be dead. Which doesn't matter to Harmy, what in the hell that crazy woman's name is, Kara. Doesn't matter to her. She's not in line for a man. She's not in line for that kind of protection. So as far as she's concerned, I wish I could convince men to off themselves. Men are not supposed to rely on intuition. We are supposed to prove ourselves, young man. You prove yourself, and in the process of proving yourself, you gain judgment. And your judgment can be relied on because of your experiences. Now, here's another guy right here, Rick Fortier, 63. Keep him in mind. We'll come back to him. Has felt the crisis of connection too. For most of his life, he says he felt safer around his female friends. He felt safer around his female friends. Now, I'm wondering to myself, which one of these dudes in the Feel Me Up Soul Train line is Rick? I'm just wondering which one is. Ask him for a friend. He felt safe around his female friends. Okay, well, it looks like these fellas are doing their best impersonation of it, but all right there, Ricky boy. In any case, I always had a feeling of being judged, walking on eggshells around other men most of my life. Was I saying the right thing? Was I doing the right thing? Was I man enough? He says, fellas, that's the way it's supposed to be. You are supposed to be judging yourself, considering yourself against other men. Let me give you a plain example. When it comes to the workplace and having a job, what kind of life are you going to live? One of you is going to be driving his 87 Yugo. The other one is going to be driving his BMW M8. There's levels to this thing. And you choose which level you'll be on. Let me go ahead and give you another one here. As men, just being in a room. Every male in here, except for those of you wearing satin and lace, no, including you too. Including you fellas who were extras in the Lil Nas X video. What? When you're standing in a room and then you're standing in a room with men, y'all are at the job or whatever, and then another male walks in the room while y'all are talking. He's a stranger. If you're sitting at a restaurant and another male walks by, with or without the family, you're at the grocery store, just someplace, another male enters your space. You're immediately looking. You're immediately inventorying him. How tall is he? How much does he weigh? How young is he? How capable is he? It's very unlikely that you might have to do something, but in the event that you do, you can't come to that conclusion at the last damn minute. The more forethought you have, the more time and space you have for reflection, the better prepared you are for whatever gonna happen. And if nothing happens, that's fine. You know why? Because we're unlike Cower and Tyrone. And by the way, she chooses a guy named Tyrone. It's not lost on me that the manosphere has always said Chad and Tyrone. It's not lost that she goes and finds a Tyrone who's fresh from the LGBT club. But as men, that type of constant situation, that's not a deleterious, look it up. That's not a negative thing for us because we're doing that from a mental standpoint, a logical standpoint, not an emotional one. It isn't that he has us on edge. It isn't that he has us afraid. It isn't that we're sitting over there scared that something's going to happen. Preparation does not mean fear. It means be prepared. Let me go ahead and advise you all, for those of you who've come here new from the old manosphere or the red pill or whatever, to remind you of the psychological basis of it. As men, these are not negative things. Cara, the whack job here, who wrote this article, would have you believe it's negative, the next thing I'm about to say. But it's not. It's the foundation of what we are as men. As men, we compartmentalize. That is why we can fight without hating you, and we can have sex with you without loving you. Those are not extra added artifacts. Those are not defects. Those are not malfunctions. Those are essential elements of the masculine being. We cannot execute our job as protector, provider, builder, innovator if we couldn't compartmentalize. So you see, we can have boxing. I was watching a video today about Reggie Miller. What's that? About he got into a fight. Him and Kobe Bryant got into a fight on the floor. He was telling the story about how he taught Kobe how to do the step back and the three shot. And it was like 2 or 3 years later, and Kobe he's on the Lakers. I forget what team Reggie was on. Was it the Sixers? Whoever. Let me stop telling teams. I'm gonna mess it up. And Kobe's dunking on him, using that move against him. They wound up getting into it on the court and fighting over it. Reggie told that story. Okay, Pacers, thank you. I'm upsetting the Pacers fans. All right. But that's what happened there. How many times the fellas done got into a scrap on the damn basketball court? That goes with the territory. As men, we can fight without hating you. It's based on principle. It's based on dominance. For females, they can't really fight if they're not emotionally invested. And it wrecks their psyche to have sex if they're not emotionally invested. As men, it's a survival mechanism. It's a necessary element. We're not men without it. Being touchy-feely and clingy about those things, that's a feminine trait, and it has a very utilitarian use to it. So when you start trying to get men to respond like women, that's where you get in trouble. Now imagine you're at Applebee's, imagine you're at Olive Garden, and this guy is there. Did I do the right thing? Was I man enough? Imagine the waiter disrespects your damn wife. Imagine the waiter disrespects your daughter. And this milquetoast over here is telling me, did I say the right thing? Was I doing the right thing? Was I man enough? Imagine that. His first experience in a men's circle challenged these norms. The environment was open and non-judgmental, and the attendees pushed each other to be honest and authentic. And though it took some trial and error to find a circle that felt, I can think of another word for circle, that felt like the right fit, Fortier says his current group, which he's been attending for 8 years, is helping him figure out the kind of man he wants to be. People! Let me get this straight, dude. You've been a part of their circle. Let me stop there. You've been a part of their little moist get together since you were 55. So this wasn't something that was just invented in the last 24 months. You've been a part of their little Vaseline intensive care society since you were 55. And you're telling me that 8 years later, you still don't know what kind of man you want to be at 63? Give it up, chump.
And deal with it, nigga.
It ain't gonna work for you. This is not gonna work for you. Just forget about it. Fellas, if you are 63 years old and you've been going to an adult group home for wayward males since you were 55 and you still don't know how to be, what kind of man you want to be at 63, the group isn't helping you. Hey, Harmeet, the Harlot, your little group therapy session here ain't working. By his own admission, people, he's been in there long enough to get a master's degree in masculinity. And he's telling you that 8 years later, all they can do is sit around as a bunch of grown men and make cinnamon rolls to serve to each other. But he is no closer to figuring out. He's still trying to figure. Okay, since we need to talk to the women, there ain't a single female walking the face of God's green earth who respects a man who would tell her, I'm 63 years old and I'm still trying to figure out what kind of man I want to be. Why don't you come home with me? There's not a single female on this planet, in this solar system, that is looking for, who is not going to hear that sentence and get up and run. She gonna be like, wait a minute, nigga, you 63, not even 53, not 43, not even 53, you're about to be a senior citizen. And you mean in the last trimester of your life, you're still working on what it means to be a man? Dude, the game is over. 60, you've already chosen what kind of man you gonna be. Obviously, you've already made the decision of what kind of man you're gonna be. You just didn't know it. You already there, cat. You already there, Jack. Just forget about it. The game's already over. The woman who wrote this article here, I use woman in quotations, she doesn't understand. It's like, baby, you are making the argument against, you're making the prosecution's case against it. The 6 or so members meet bi-weekly, and the issues that come up run the gamut. They talk about negative self-image, romantic challenges, and the pressures they feel as men to act a certain way. 2 members passed away in the last year, so feelings around death have also become a major topic of discussion. Quote, it's deep in our soul to have a brotherhood, and we don't know how to do that in our society other than throwing through sports events, drinking, going hunting, or whatever might be typical of accepted men's behavior. What's wrong with those? What the hell else y'all doing? We talk about negative self-image, romantic challenges. Romantic challenges. You mean like being a 63-year-old who don't know what kind of man he wants to be? You damn right you're romantically challenged. The only thing you're not even fit to be among gay men. Even no man is looking to be around another man 63 damn years old and don't know and ain't got a grip on his life yet. There's no man who wants that, much less a woman. No men are looking to be in the company of a man who ain't figured it out by 63. 63 people. It's deep in our soul to have a brotherhood, and we don't know how to do that in our society other than sporting events. Okay. They don't want to do it through sporting events. I guess this right here is how they get in touch with being a man. Yeah, that right there. Yeah. This is the brotherhood that they're looking for. Right there. Makes perfect sense when you think about it. You know, there's the brotherhood they're looking for. Keep me out of that one. Now listen to this next part. After everything she just said, she can't help herself but to attack the very men she talked about just now. By the way, this whole article she wrote, now she's about to go in on them. These groups aren't perfect. Even as men commit to improving themselves, they don't always get it right. As Ian McElroy wrote in 2021 for The Cut, quote, these groups are still run by men. Men with all their baggage and acculturation and gazes. So in other words, these guys here, what I tell you from the beginning, CNN, this is CNN now. CNN is telling you the problem, ultimately the problem with the men's group is that it's run by men and that you want to be men and that ultimately the only way you can be good is if you're no longer men. So the problem isn't, quote, masculinity. CNN's problem is your men. Plenty of groups end up reinforcing stereotypical ideas about who men should be, says Angelica Ferrara, a developmental and social psychologist whose research focuses on masculinity and gender. So in other words, she attacks masculinity and tries to convince men to be a different gender. Quote, some men's groups work by saying that a real man is emotionally vulnerable and a provider not just through finances, but through emotional support to others, she wrote in an email to CNN. These frameworks still imbue men with value and status in other men's ideas solely on what they provide to others. That's a big problem. Well, I would like to have her go into detail and have her say that men should not be judged by what they do or provide for women. Because remember, in the feminist psycho culture that you're in, the feminists want to tell you that as a man, the only thing that you can never be a good man unless you're serving women. Then when you say, okay, well, we'll judge you by what I produce. Nope, not that either. They want you to serve women, but they don't want you to have any pride about yourself. So it's got to be from a really subservient bowing and scraping. I'm never good enough. And the crazy thing is those women can't stand those kinds of men. Even the women sitting up here badgering you and trying to bully you into this, they can't stand men like that. The kind of men they're trying to coerce you to be, they can't stand it. Not at all. The Mankind Project and other men's organizations, I'd like to know how many people are in this organization, also lean on initiation rituals. What? Oh, man.
Alrighty then.
Initiation rituals. Oh, I think I see where this is going. People, this is from CNN. Do you hear me? This is from CNN. They lean on initiation rituals and specific archetypes to help men get in touch with themselves, stemming from their roots in mythopoetic men's movement. People, what in the hell? Which in the 80s and 90s brought men into the woods to rediscover their innate masculinity through drumming circles and chant. What the hell is mythopoetic? I grew up in the 80s and 90s. What the hell is that? Where did this happen? They're just making stuff up now. 3 naked dudes going out into the Ozark. That does not constitute a movement. Folks, what kind of movement was... Did any of you ever hear this the mythopoetic movement? These folks they don't need therapy. They just need wholesale lobotomies. Either chemical castration or electroshock therapy. Now wait till y'all hear this next part, people. First of all, you see this picture on your screen? Is he burning sage around this dude? Y'all, this is an LGBT group. Why is the writer of this article not saying men need to consider masculinity as gay? Why are they not saying that? You got another male burning stuff around you. You see this? Now this is just LGBT at this point. Men gather in Brooklyn. All right, fellas, watch yourselves in Brooklyn. Watch yourselves in Brooklyn, fellas. Better watch yourselves in Brooklyn. The Mankind Project circles, for example, use the labels, listen to this, they use the labels king, warrior, magician, and lover. What? An apparent reference to Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette's 1991 book that defines 4 essential aspects of manhood. Its weekend retreats, which reportedly involve cold showers and blindfolding.
Nigga, please.
Nigga, please.
Nigga, please.
This is an article that was published in the last 5 days by CNN, people. CNN, whose ratings have tanked, whose viewership has cratered. They are on the verge of financial collapse. MSNBC already went into financial collapse. Universal was like, we can no longer, there's no point in paying for you anymore. You don't belong here. And now you want to know why nobody's watching CNN? Yeah. This is what CNN pays for, people. CNN paid for this article, ostensibly. Ostensibly paid for it. So go off to the Mankind Project's weekend retreat. So among other things, by the way, because this ain't all they do, because I'm like cold showers and blindfolding. While Marsh and others have found these frameworks empowering people, what part of a cold shower and being blindfolded is empowering? What the hell? What kind of empowering? Okay, what the hell? Some critics note that they can present an outdated and limiting view of masculinity. So do you see? You can't kiss this woman's ass enough in your desperate, pathetic attempt to get her to approve of you. She talked well of you at the beginning, and then right before she ended, by the way, she said, by the way, you're screwed up too. You're messed up and screwed up too. That's what you get for trying to kiss a feminist, bony, flat, worthless, smelly ass. That's what you get for that. She told you I hate you too. Yeah, all that stuff you doing, all that singing. Yeah, you're still too masculine. They're telling you that you're still too masculine. Folks, the only thing they don't have a problem with is femininity. So what they're saying, hey, you fellas would be good if you put on a dress and a G-string. If you would just slip on a dress and a G-string, then it'd be better. Oh, yeah, and say that you're on your period. It'd be better. Still, Ferrara says it's important not to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. The most promising men's circles, in her view, explicitly name patriarchy and stringent ideas of masculinity as the root of men's suffering. Rather than something to be reconfigured or revived, patriarchy. Now, matriarchy, she didn't say that's a problem. Giving in, if you're going to say patriarchy is a problem, why don't you also tell the men and also giving in and surrendering to matriarchy is equally as evil? Notice they never say that. They never tell you patriarchy, femininity, feminism. None of that is ever a problem. As a man, you need to understand that patriarchy, men leading, and ideas of masculinity, why, that's the root of men's suffering. Right there. All this you trying to stubbornly be a man, that's your problem. But even if Ferrara sees flaws in some of their approaches, men building emotional intelligence, now you understand that that's a damned term, and deeper community stands to benefit them and everyone in their lives. And she hopes that as a result, more men might start to question traditional ideas around masculinity altogether. Reaching the next generation is challenging. What? Damn! Oh boy. Oh man. Well, hold on a second. Let me back that up right quick, because you see, I remember seeing something else. I remember seeing something. Yeah, here it was. Experts say there's a growing appetite for these groups across the Western Hemisphere. Well, okay, remember I said that's what this lying, disgustable, reprehensible harpy said. Well, that's what she said. But now, later in the article, well, now what does she say? Oh, well, now she says reaching the next generation is challenging. Since President Donald Trump was said to have leveraged corners of the manosphere to help him win the 2024 U.S. election, there's been a lot of discussion about the resurgence of more problematic ideas around masculinity. The recent Netflix series Adolescence also sparked conversations. By the way, that show, the fact that so many people have been talking about, so many of the wrong people have been praising that show, that's your first clue there's a problem. In particular, many young men seem adrift and more drawn to macho, traditional models of being a man, with hyper-masculine influencers on their social media feeds promoting self-improvement through extreme workout and diet regimens. She has a problem with men talking about working out because the only workout she thinks men need to be doing is imitating a female as much as they can. By the way, take a look at these fellas. Not a single ounce of muscle tone anywhere on here. All of them are 98-pound weaklings. A strong breeze would blow all of them out of the room like so many papers off of a secretary's desk. And that's exactly what this sick, demented creature here is advocating for. This is disgusting. It's criminal. Absolutely criminal. She's upset because men want to work out and diet. Well, yeah, because a man who works out and diets damn sure isn't going to want a female like her. The idea of sitting in a circle and talking about feelings might sound less appealing. It's a major challenge men's circles are up against. They're not reaching the people who might need them most. Damn! Well, after all that damn talking she did, and after all of that gesticulating, and after all that making all these highfalutin claims, she just breaks down and admits, by the way, this is not appealing to young men. And trust me, it gets worse. They're going to say that in their current iteration, men's circles and similar programs typically attract men in midlife. The Mankind Project does run a specialized version of its flagship retreat for men, 18 to 35. That also costs $995 to attend. And the organization says its overall age range has widened over time. Still, Marsh says it struggles with getting younger men involved. Knowing the differences men's circles made for him, Fortier says he's frustrated that so few young men seem interested. Listen to this. At 63, he's one of the younger men in his current group. What? Oh, you heard that correctly. Yeah, Mr. 63-year-old Fortier, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of man I'm going to be. Not really sure what kind of man I'm going to... They're still helping me to figure out the kind of man I want to be. And by the way, at 63, he's one of the younger members. At 63. Ain't nobody fooling with this nonsense. Over the years, he says some guys have shown up eager to discuss current affairs or sports. When encouraged to dig a little deeper. Dig a little deep. Oh, I'd pause. He says they seemed uncomfortable and often didn't return. Hell yeah, y'all sitting there looking at him like Jeffrey Epstein. Damn right. He's like, yeah, wait a minute. We thought this was a men's group. Why would men not want to discuss current affairs? No, you need to discuss your feelings. Whoa. We don't want to discuss current affairs or sports. You need to dig deeper. Deeper than current affairs? Yep. Then they say, oh, the young fellas didn't come back. You damn right they didn't come back. All you heard was his damn Dodge Challenger skid out the damn parking lot. That's all you heard. Boy, I'm telling you. When your opposition is this damn clueless. Dismantling generations of preconceptions about men is a daunting task, and men's circles are just one intervention in the broader project of reconsidering what it means to be a man. But whether through men's circles or something else. Now, what is the something else that this repugnant, disgusting little vampire here is referring to, I wonder? What is the something else she's referring to? Because that sounds very ominous and very threatening, especially considering her anti-male sentiments that she's been vomiting out and spitting out this whole time. I wonder what the, quote, something else is she has in mind. 48 says, men need to step up, Malik Yoba, and take accountability. We've created this situation, he says. It's up to us to fix it. Here's the issue. You're the one who's broken. Men aren't broken. We're not broken. We're not damaged. Well, some are damaged. We're not broken. We're not defective. We're not malfunctioning. You're the one who's malfunctioning. That's why you have 2 or 3 other 60-year-old guys who are dealing with their LGBT tendencies. And then when you come around men who are not LGBT, you don't feel like you fit in. You're trying to convince them to become more like you, and they ain't having it. They're not having it. Men don't want to be out of control, dominated by females, dominated by their feelings, dominated by anything. That is anathema to a masculine being. That's anathema to that. And let's be very, very clear. Even if this psychotic wench on this screen, if she ever has a problem in this world, she's going to go screaming for a man. She'll go screaming for the police, and if the police show up, if she sees some females, her heart's going to sink. If she gets into trouble somewhere, an auto accident somewhere, she's going to want men to show up with guns, men to show up with the jaws of life, men to show up with fire hoses. That's what will give her comfort and reassurance, not a bunch of chicks showing up. She would sit there and panic. You see, she can say this idiocy from the safety and comfort of her laptop at CNN headquarters in Atlanta, where she's safe and secure in their guarded parking garage. She can say this idiocy there. What she can't do is say this nonsense on the streets. She can't live this way. So basically what she does is write fan fiction. That's basically what she does. She writes fan fiction. But I went through all of that because I wanted you to check out that last part there, that even despite her best efforts and her most venomous wishful thinking, at the end of the day, she had to simply concede, yeah, nobody under the age of 60 is interested in doing this. Now, I've got to bring this back to what I've been discussing here more recently. I gotta bring this back to that. You remember in the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about this thing here where younger females with, as I've always called it, exploitation fantasies. They have a fantasy of exploiting men, that they will get to extract everything they've ever wanted out of a man, and in return, she's required to give him absolutely nothing, not even sex. That she isn't even required to do that, that he will be obligated to be at her beck and call, to bow and scrape, to meet her heart's desire, and that she won't be required to do a thing for him. Not even sex. I just showed you. She just wants a complete, this is really a degenerate, sick, exploitation fantasy. But what they found is that the baby boomer generation is the last one that still subscribes to that weakness. They're the only place you can reliably find males who are still bowing and scraping, because make no mistake about it, it was the baby boomer generation of males who allowed the rise of feminism and supported it. They didn't just allow it, they allowed it and supported it, because let's go ahead and roll the clock backwards. I got to remind you all, nice, we can roll the clock backwards. Let me go ahead and see if I can crank up the time machine here. Please remember, when you go back to the 60s and the 70s, you're talking about the women's movement. You're talking about burning your bras. You're talking about, quote, free love. What? These are all phrases that go back to the 60s and 70s. Free love, Woodstock. Please remember, we did not, the STD epidemic kicks off in the 70s. Well, this is after free love. So in other words, your daughters used to be valued for their chastity. The feminism and the women's movement said, damn that. Nobody controls our sex organs, not even us. If I want to hump every man in the park, I'll do it. And that's what Woodstock and Free Love and Tune In, Turn Up and Drop Out and all these other things were based on. That's what all of them encouraged females to do. And for the men. So guess what? Back then, why the fellas of the baby boomer generation, they were 2 thumbs up. We be damned. The females are out here yanking off their bras, pulling up their shirts, showing their bare breasts, getting on weed, having orgies, threesomes, foursomes, and moresomes. Why would the men want to dispute that? Why would the men want to argue with that? For the first time in human history, the females had accepted orgy culture. And why they told themselves it was female culture. In comes Hugh Hefner. Damn! Oh, folks, no, it wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just one thing. Here comes Hugh Hefner, the biggest pimp who ever lived. Talk about sex trafficking. Hugh Hefner and a bunch of other people got together, popularized those sentiments. And so the males of that generation in the 60s and 70s, they were 2 thumbs up all the way in, can't hold them back. That's right, ladies. Feminism. You're a free girl now. See you at Club 54, baby. You tell your daddy-o, sit his ass down at home. He's out of touch. You ain't hip no more, daddy. Got your daughter down here at the club. We doing all kinds of things with her. She's a feminist now. So if you want to know where that came from, and if Jason's just making this up, no, I'm not making it up. The baby boomer generation of males who struggled with females, they were never really desirable. And they told themselves, well, if all else fails, then damn it. If the girls want to be hoes, we need to endorse that because we ain't getting nothing. We're not getting any female sexual contact at all. So the more females who want to hoe it up, the better. And it doesn't matter what rationale the females are giving. Whatever it is, hey, chicks, hoe it up. Hoe it up. Well, they said they were doing it for feminism. So it should be no surprise that all these decades later, welcome to the advent of the pension pimp. These old bastards haven't changed. They haven't changed. If anything, they're even more pathetic now. Now they have a pension. They feel like they're a little more financially secure. And they are groveling and scraping, and the newer generation of females has caught on more to the strategies of the old hoes who raised them than the old females did. And they know exactly who the biggest tricks and the biggest simps and the biggest idiots are. And what they are confirming is what I've been saying here for the last couple of weeks. And I'm just giving you a reminder once again, do not worry. I want the men to be very clear about this. Do not worry. Do not let writers of CNN, New York Post, or anywhere else rattle you or scare you or frighten you. Don't be afraid. Nothing to worry about here, because number one, the women don't even want that kind of guy to begin with. They want what he's got, and fewer of them are willing to actually sign it over. They're willing to use it and leverage it, but fewer of them are actually willing to sign it over. The other problem is the ones who do, the females have no attraction to, no interest in. You're a tool to be used. So she doesn't really like you, because if you're that gullible that you fell for her, she's like, you're meat in front of these other men. You're dead meat. So she has no respect for you. And then lastly, there's only a limited number of them to go around. Are you kidding me? There's literally fewer of them. And by fewer of them, I mean fewer of them living and breathing. There are fewer of them every day. There's fewer of them every day. So with that being the case, they don't really have the ability. You don't have enough of them to go around. So you might wish that there were a bottomless pit of old, washed up, ragged out, trick ass simps from the baby boomer generation who are willing to accept your nonsense. But the bottom line is there are fewer of them every day. And even fewer of them who got seven figures, very few of those. Few who make six figures, and very few who you can count on one hand who make seven and are available or interested. So this is a nice role-playing fantasy that you're plugged into, but it's not really a realistic option for the overwhelming majority of women. This isn't a realistic thing. This isn't something you can actually do. You can fantasize about it. And even for the females who do, it's not like it's usually either going to be the top 5% who got that kind of pull. But once again, this is very, very limited. Very limited. And the available options dry up very quickly. They dry up very quickly. And then you just got to go from there. The available options are very limited. And after that, the overwhelming majority of you are right back where you started. Right back where you started. First of all, let's be very, very clear. A 60-year-old dude ain't getting around like that. It's very rare that you have a 60-year-old guy who's getting around like that, or who wants to get around like that. So he's not Mr. Go-Getter. He's not Mr. Good Look. You can't go to the mall and flex with him. You can't go to Thanksgiving dinner and flex with him. You can't go to the park and flex with him. You can't, there are no females saying, damn, she doing great. That's not what's happening. And it never will. Even the Vivica Foxes, folks, have you realized the Vivica Foxes, they want something impressive. That's what they're telling you now. They want something impressive. That's what the Tracee Ellis Ross thing is about. Tracee Ellis Ross and Madonna and whatever interview is coming out from whatever washed up chick from the 80s out there. They want a younger fella because at least he's physically impressive. When she walks somewhere with him in public, at least he's physically impressive. It doesn't immediately look like an embarrassing charity case. She looks like she's got a fella in his prime and everything matches. It doesn't look like she's on her last leg and she pulled some victim out of the senior citizens home. It's a pathetic and dispiriting situation that you find yourselves out there in today. Very dispiriting. And then you have a corporate media apparatus that has dedicated itself to the task of confusing, confounding, manipulating, contaminating. Because men, a culture led by the men is too dangerous for them. Far too dangerous. You constitute an ever-escalating threat. You're not going to tell folk to just believe any old damn thing. You're not going to be subservient the way you need them to. They're looking for you to give more. They need you to be easily dominated, easily controlled, easily fooled, easily distracted, easily bamboozled. There's only one problem for CNN. Nobody's listening to you. There's your issue. It would be different if people were listening to you, but they're not. It would be different if they were paying you attention, but they aren't. It'd be different if they were actually looking to you as an authority, but they're not. So all this article really is rage posting. You're rage posting about what you're angry about, that the next generation isn't adhering to any of the things you need them to in order to stay subjugated. Truth be told, my generation, Generation X, were the first to knock off the shackles. We were the ones who started spreading the word first, and the next generations after us, they got the damn message. They got the message. The other thing is that she is showing you what she's afraid of. She's showing you what she's afraid of. Did you all notice something? Did you notice something that was in there? Because if you did, you would have noticed what it was. You noticed that she expressed what she didn't like. And in that, you can see what a person is afraid of. You notice the writer of the article said that hypermasculinity through extreme workout and diet regimens. So men who are focused on their own personal physical well-being in the middle of an obesity epidemic, you'd think she'd be proud of that. Actually, she's saying, no, I want you weak. I want you addicted. I want you distracted. But also, did you notice the thing that she left out? While she mentions physical fitness, why didn't she say money? Damn! Of all the things that the red pill and the manosphere talks about, they incessantly talk about money and the need for men to get it. And yet the single biggest area of interest and focus they have, she doesn't say a word of criticism about that. Did you notice that? She doesn't say a word of criticism about men's ability to make money. Now, she doesn't like the fact, let me go ahead and throw it back up on your screen now. She doesn't have a problem with men she doesn't like men being physically fit. Ashton Hall, well, men being physically fit, she hates that. Oh, she despises men who are physically fit. But she doesn't say anything about men being financially affluent, men being rich. Did you notice she doesn't discourage men from that? She doesn't go to war against that. Just against men being physically capable. So she's expressing what she's afraid of. She's afraid of men who are not physically weak. Now, people, I submit to you, only someone who has very concrete plans on abusing you wants you, desires you to be physically weak. And she doesn't say anything about their money, so she wants you to be physically weak, but financially able to cater to her. She doesn't want you to stop being economically competitive. She doesn't want to do that. She needs you to make sure you're going to stay economically competitive. She's looking for somebody to take care of her. You got to be economically competitive. So there's a full court press on today to brainwash men into becoming women. The good news is it is falling flat on its face. It is embarrassing. And the bottom line is they have to understand this is what's going on here, Harmeet. This is what's happening here, hamhead. The feminism wave is over.
And deal with it, nigga.
It's over. You had your run. You had your run. The old washed up cats from the baby boomer generation who tolerated this nonsense, they're gone, baby. That's it. They're on the way out. Literally. You can't count on them to put their finger on the scales anymore and to overlook and dismiss the nonsense. You can't count on that anymore. You ain't got no backup. You're going after Bill Belichick, for goodness sake. You ain't got no backup. The generations after them, baby, that's it. It's over. The wave is done. That wave is done. That movement is over. Your time is done. We have embarked on the 50-year experiment into Sodom and Gomorrah known as feminism, and it has been rejected as an abject, psychotic, delusional, brain-damaged failure. There's nothing in it that they want. Because women are still women. Women do not want to work like men. Women are not willing to be like men. There are not enough ass-kissing jobs as a writer at CNN to support all the females who need it. And even for those who do, they don't want your job. They don't want to be like you, Harmeet. They look at you. You're miserable. You're angry. You're despicable. You're venomous. You're hateful. They don't want to be like you. They want men to like them. Women don't want to change their own tires, change their own brakes, change their own oil, fix their own AC. They don't want to have women's retreats where they get together and share home improvement tips. Because your ass ain't going to be there either, Harmeet. You won't be there either. Women don't want to be that. They don't want to do that. The laws of physics are the laws of physics. Women are not looking to sit up here and work 80 hours a week. They're not trying to do that. Joy Taylor's ridiculous ass talking about that mess about what she's worked for. Baby, you ain't worked for a damn thing. Them double D cups did all the work. Every time you open your mouth, it's ridiculous. No one would care what you had to say if you had 2 A cups and you looked like Tarana Burke in the face. You wouldn't be saying anything. Oh yeah, and one more thing from a woman who literally is getting sued because she made a career of sleeping her way on the job. What the hell did you do besides lay on your back? Women aren't doing that. They're not interested in that. Women are not interested in being these alpha competitors. That is what defines men. Men can exist in that environment till the day we die. That is something that enriches men, does something for us, it empowers us. That is something that enhances us as men. That destroys women. And it destroys them early. It destroys them early. And that's why Harmeet and the rest of the harpies like her write articles like this, because they hate it. They hate it. They can't stand it. If you're a woman, you live in Atlanta, you live in New York, that must have been a hell of a thing. Atlanta used to be affordable. In Harmeet's lifetime, she's watched Atlanta become unaffordable. I'll be damned. And it's the same thing everywhere, people. If you are successful at your job, you want to look successful. This is where things become a problem. You want to look successful. Okay, that means you need to wear a certain type of clothes. You need to drive a certain type of car. You need to live in a certain area. No, I meant that last one. That last one's a big one, especially when you get to these multinational corporations, these multinational multimedia corporations. Oh, that's a big one, people. That's a big one. That's a big one. There was a former Hollywood writer who talked about how where you live in Los Angeles, that's not just an address, that's a calling card. That isn't just your address, that's your calling card. When you say, I live in Beverly Hills, when you say, I live in Hollywood, when you say, I live in the Valley, you're not just telling people where you live. I'm talking about in the industry. If you're a director, a producer, an actor, there's a reason that they have the Birkin bag. It isn't for the reasons that you all go chasing one. They do that because in their industry, these are calling cards. These demonstrate and illustrate and communicate specific things. It doesn't just say, I got money. People, you have to be allowed to live in certain neighborhoods. The Birkin bag is a status symbol not because of its price. The Birkin bag is a status symbol because you have to be allowed to get one. That's the reason a Birkin, a Kelly, is a status symbol. Everyone can't get one. Everyone isn't allowed to get one. You have to earn the ability. You have to be approved for it. The folk in charge have to give you the nod. You can't just move into, and I've been all up in the hills in Hollywood and everything else, Hollywood, Beverly Hills. I've been all up in them damn things. For folks who don't live there, you don't know they got gates. Not gate houses, I mean gates. They got gates that basically you can't get through unless you live on that side of the mountain. And they have police who drive around there. The motorcycle cops made us turn around. They were like, are you residents? No, you have to turn around. They didn't have gates. I'm talking about they had police on motorcycles. For those of you who live in Los Angeles, you've seen it. But if you go up there in those areas, you see it. Although, why would you? But you can't just go up in there. You cannot just, Santa Barbara, you can't just go there. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You can't just go and say, okay, I'm buying a house here. It doesn't work that way. Yes, same thing for Ferrari. You can't just go and buy a F80 or a F90. You can't just, doesn't matter how much money you have. If you haven't bought a California or a Berlinetta, if you haven't bought one of those, you don't just walk into the Ferrari dealership and go buy one. Not unless you're a Hollywood star, and even in those cases, they can't get one. Jay Leno complained because he said, yeah, they want him to play those games and he wouldn't do it. You have to be allowed to get one. You have to be allowed to do that. So when you say, I have a Ferrari F90, people know, oh, you don't just have money. You're on the inside. Oh, you're in. That's what you know as soon as you hear that. Oh, you're in. My homeboy got a Ferrari. Yeah, he doesn't have an F90. And he can't get one. Your homeboy doesn't have an F90 and he can't get one. No, you got to be on the inside to get one of those. So it's not about money. We can use the term status, but it's really about connections and clout. It's telling us you're on the inside. That's why you got that Ferrari, because it non-verbally communicates, I'm on the inside. Yeah, the rest of y'all might have a Ferrari, but yours is used. I'm on the inside. I'm on the inside. Your woman has a Kelly bag, a Birkin bag. What is she demonstrating? I'm on the inside. Yeah, the rest of you couldn't get this no matter how much money you got. I'm on the inside. I live in Santa Barbara. I live in the hills. I live in the Hamptons. I'm on the inside. And Harmeet here is living there in Atlanta, and she's as outside as you can get. That stings, people. That stings. That hurts. That bothers her. That bothers all of them, because there are folk there who they living in the nicest parts of the place, And then you got the rest of them, and they don't really rate that. That stings. That stings. Take it from me. I've been there, folks. I've been there. I know what it's like to show up at the Marriott, at the W, at the Westin. I know what it's like to show up there and folks are staring. They're looking at what you're driving. The teeny boppers hopping out of their Chevy Tahoe smoking weed. No, if you work for CNN, you want to look like you work for CNN. You want to look like you work for something. Okay, then you got to pop out in the Maybach. You got to pop out in the Bentley. You got to pop out in the Aston Martin. You got to pop out in the Rolls. You can't be, because they park you differently. They don't park you where they park everybody else. They park you differently. They don't put you where you put everybody else. My folks who've been there will bear me witness. At Trump Tower, they don't put you where they put everybody else. You show up in the Bentley, you show up in the G-Wagon, they park you somewhere different. Everybody else go over here. Oh, wait a minute, you got to go up here. You got to go up here. And when you in Atlanta today, that's what they're looking for, man. Downtown, midtown. That's what they're looking for. Now imagine you can't do that. Imagine that's not for you. And you hate the men because the men will work 80 hours a week to get that thing. Women ain't gonna do that. Women are not going to do it. They won't. Unless somebody just gives it to them. But they're not going to do it by working and sweating and, okay, watching hours on the clock. She's like, I'll be damned. Let me find a dude to lay up with who already got it. This is all too stressful. You all don't have to believe me. Go and hang out in some of these places. Go to the Four Seasons. Let me tell you right now, you do not want to pull up at the Four Seasons. You don't want to pull up at the Conrad. You don't want to pull up at the Dominic behind a Maybach, behind a Lamborghini. You don't want to pull up behind one of those. You don't want it. You don't want it. The valets won't even open your damn door for you. If there's a Bentley sitting in front of you, they're going to take care of him. If they have, you're going to see the valets move towards the Bentley. Whoever get to him first got him. The rest of them come and help you. They might open one of your doors. If there's a woman's side, they'll open the passenger side and the driver's side, and yeah, you'll be all right. That's literally the way it happens. Anybody who's been there, you've seen it. If you show up by yourself, it's one thing. You pull up behind a $200,000, $300,000 car. Watch what happens. They are going to treat you differently. They're going to treat you differently. Even if you're Rachel Maddow. Harmeet wants that. She works for CNN. She wants that and she can't get that. And she's angry and spiteful and bitter. She's mad at men because men don't really do it for chicks like her. Depends on where you're at. They either get to be upfront, Kempton Epic, or they have a different floor that they put them on. They usually have you on the floor by yourself. If you got expensive vehicles, they put you on the, usually if they have the ability, they put you on the floor by yourself. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the link to the Zoom is now open. You are welcome to give us a call if you choose to do so. Understand that tonight's topic here is going to upset some. It was super calibrated to do so, so read them and weep. Thank you to everyone, and I do mean everybody who's contributed to tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out here to Harbor Lights. Jason is stir frying and cooking. Up nothing but the facts. Thank you very much to Alyssa Bay. Thank you very much for your giving out some memberships here tonight. The gift that keeps on giving. We appreciate that. Snatch a Dams. Thank you very much here. JM, Real Books, and everybody else here. Thank you very much for joining us here as well. I wanted to go through that because I have to keep you up to date on these things while other people are out there. Please understand, the manosphere did not see the re-election of Donald Trump coming. They told you all that it was the end of the world. Ain't that right, Rolo? They all told you there was nothing you could do. They said, enjoy the decline. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, Aaron? They told everybody to enjoy the decline. We never gave into that. We never spouted that nonsense. You won't catch us on the record saying that. We have always said that we are going to resist because we have a culture of resistance. So for the real men who are used to fighting battles and winning, we never talked about enjoying no damn decline. We said the revolution will not be televised. But we didn't say we're enjoying no damn decline. That's not what men, real actual men, do. Real actual men do not give in and do not surrender. Damn sure not to a bunch of whacked out broads. Men don't do that. Men don't do that. Totally different scenario. So they have their reasons for being upset, and we're the only ones who light the path for it. All right, let's go ahead and get over here on Zoom. We got Derry here on Zoom. What's on your mind, brother?
Jason, what's up, man? Good evening, brother. I was actually going to call on the Patreon last night to give you that update about everything we talked about a couple weekends ago. But I'm actually, I don't know if the camera's on the YouTube, but I'll feel free to
You're not.
Share. Okay. Real quick, man, I wanted to say you're absolutely right about the valet and everything. Obviously, I'm not at that level, living in the Nashville area, but man, it even extends into when you go shopping. I had an experience. I pulled, I've got it's blacked out, the 7 Series or whatever, and I pulled in, man, and the valet guy not only asked me where I got it from, but he parked the damn thing, left it in the middle, like kind of in the middle lane, right in front of where everybody can see it. Like that was a hell of an experience. So like, I can't imagine being a celebrity or being somebody, not a celebrity, but working for CNN, working in those circles and not having access to that. That's a completely different experience.
Well, like I say, if for any of you who go down to Miami, you don't even have to stay. The Kempton Epic in Miami, down there on Biscayne Boulevard, you can go there. Now, it's a long driveway to get up to the front of the place. But you can go there. They leave their most expensive cars outside, especially on Friday and Saturday. So they got the McLarens parked there, the Rolls Royces, the Bentleys, the Maybachs. They got those parked out front, in front of the place. They don't even take them to the garage. They're parked right out front. And that's for 2 reasons. Number 1, to see and be seen. That's the status symbol for them. But number 2, it gives you, I want to say it gives convenience of being able to get to them. But really, when you park, you ain't really trying to go nowhere.
100%.
But this is what they do. So I'm giving you all a real world example, and that's just one place I could name. You go there, you will see them literally Friday and Saturdays. They literally park them outside, and there's a group of them that are up there near the top where the valets are at the very top of the hill. There's a group of the cars there. They just stay there. They don't take them in. They don't. Other cars they'll park in valet. Those just stay right there. So the most expensive stuff, Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, they just stay right there in front of the place, right there.
Yeah. And that's real talk. And, it's so crazy. Like, it's so interesting you brought this topic up because that's some of the things that I've noticed even lately. If you notice, I know you say you ain't been in Nashville in a while, but when you come out of the airport from baggage claim, they got the valet at the airport where they redesigned it. The valet is right there where everybody has to walk past the valet at the airport. So you always see your like you said, your McLarens, you always see the Bentleys, the Bentaygas. I've seen a couple Phantoms in there. And that's exactly right. I never, until you talked about that tonight, I'm like, damn, like that's why they specifically put that valet at the airport right there when you come out the baggage claim.
Yeah, they're trying to show people it's different. So Nashville, Davidson County is really trying to get his weight up. I haven't been there in a while, so I know they were doing renovations on the airport. So I really need to get through there just so I can see it, to be totally honest. I need to get through there just so I can see what the new terminal looks like. But I mean, they're trying to put themselves on the map. They're trying to show, hey, we got money here. And they do, as a matter of fact. They've really succeeded in a lot of that regard. They've really succeeded at it.
Yeah, 100%. I actually had one big question because I've noticed maybe it's because I primarily I'm whether it be you or Tariq, that's specifically all the content I watch here on this platform. But what I've noticed a lot of between whether it be Friedrich Nietzsche or Machiavelli, whatever, like I've noticed I'm getting a lot of content pushed my way about men giving up on dating. And I think that it's not even that's the way that they say it, but it's really when you talk about these power dynamics, man, that's what I feel like guys are waking up. So these articles like this is guys aren't tuning in, guys aren't reading these articles. I ain't even heard of the damn thing until you brought it up on the broadcast. So, why do you think it is that most men, at least top 20% or even hell, top 50%, why are they giving up on even just seeking out or even reaching out?
Well, I don't think I think the bottom 50% struggle. So you get a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And really what you have are a bunch of people giving content. So that's why I've tried my best to warn you all that, hey, this is like if you went to go to college, you would never go to a college that told you could never graduate. You would never go to a college that tells you, oh, we don't give prescriptions. We just tell you what the subject matter is. We don't tell you what to do with it. You would never pay them if they said that. So I need you all to understand there's a bunch of people here who are just giving out, quote, content. I don't give content, which is why I can say the words that none of these other folks can say. Call me back. I'm not interested in content. I'm interested in results. And the truth of the matter is that there are brutal realities that have to be acknowledged, but that's okay because as men, we can take that. But a lot of fellas out there, they're being sold things. And when you sell somebody something, it's very, very important to give them ease of access. It's got to sound as easy as possible, as simple as possible. And if you can't actually deliver, then you have to tell them it's impossible. But sit over here with us and enjoy the decline. So that's a lot of folk are selling you failure porn. The truth of the matter is there are a lot of folks selling success porn, wealth porn. Yeah, look at me. I'm in front of my Bugatti. I'm in front of my Lamborghini. A lot of folks selling success porn. Andrew Tate and friends, that's classic success porn. Mm-hmm. But there's the other side of the equation that they know they can't compete on that level. They're trying to sell y'all failure porn. That's where we get from. So the red pill would be more in the avenue of success porn. And the black pill, MGTOW, would be more in the avenue of failure porn. So I wanted to find the right analogy for it and the right metaphor for it. And that's it right there. Yeah, your red pill is success porn. Your black pill, MGTOW, is failure porn. Because I want you to understand there's a lot of guys out there, especially if they're younger, fresh out of high school, college, whatever, they never did well with females. They're looking for the quickest answer possible. Okay. And, go to the gym and double your income. That takes years. Give up. You can do that right now. You can give me $10 and give up right now. That takes no work, no effort, no time delay, service with a smile. Mm-hmm. So when you think about it in that regard, that's a very easy product to sell to somebody who's already agreeable to it, susceptible to it. That's an easy product to sell. Easy product. And that's why YouTube is very good for creating rabbit holes. Well, the other issue is that those genres have had such a lead and a head start. They are popular. Folks set up YouTube channels. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't have any life experiences. So what they do is they set up channels they think will get views. But since they don't have anything of their own to offer, they just copycat somebody. Whoever they see is getting, quote unquote, the most views, that's what they copycat. They just mimic that. Good, bad, credible, non-credible, or otherwise. So you get this giant echo chamber of desperate individuals who don't want a 9-to-5 saying whatever it is they think they need to say so they can get some views and hopefully get some AdSense money. They're not accustomed to somebody like me who doesn't have to do that. Never have, never will. But that's novel. So that's what I was telling people. Folk were thinking I was, you downing them and whatnot. I'm not downing anybody. The Fresh and Fits and Kevin Samuels and Rolos, this is new to them, man. They ain't never had money before. They never had money. They never had views. This is new to all of them.
Yeah.
And I showed you all over the years, by the way, hey, some of the things they've tipped off is like, hey, bro, you can't buy that car there. That's not what happens when you go to that dealership. I know. I got it on video. That's not what happens when you go to that dealership, dude. I know you didn't buy that car there because that's not what happens at that dealership. That's not what happens at that store. That's not what happens at the Prada store. That's not what happens at the Hermes store. So you guys are getting it wrong. That's not what happens there. I know what happens there, and that's not what happens. So YouTube is inundated with folks who don't know, and they're just selling content to other people who don't know. And the lowest form of scum for it is failure porn. And just, well, I will comfort you in what you're not getting. So they spend all their time doing nothing but talking about how terrible the females are. The only elevation they'll give is get your passports, as if that's a damn answer. Because if you are socially awkward and socially inept in America, you will be socially awkward and inept in the Philippines, in Colombia, in Brazil, where, by the way, millionaires are already running around them places. You're going to be, if you're socially awkward here, you'll be socially awkward over there. The only thing you can really do is go over there and just throw your wallet open like the Price is Right. And that's all you could do. And what the hell do you think you're going to get? So that's what they sell them, because it's easy to wrap your head around. It's easy to digest, but it doesn't actually cure anything. And it never has, which is why we're a decade later and they're just saying the same things.
Yeah, you make two really good points, man. These are my last two. I'll land my plane. But Brazil, they reinstituted that visa. Biggest thing I noticed, they require you to show proof of $2,000. So that like, what the hell are these people going over there for if you don't have $2,000 to spend? That is insane to me, brother. And then the last thing was, I don't know, obviously you have new listeners, but this is not, I love this platform. That's why I always try to call it when I can. But I love that you say, call me back. There's nowhere in hell I know that's credible, that works, that says that. But if anybody knew, like, this is not different. This isn't for everybody. I love that this program exists. This ain't for everybody. We don't need it to be for everybody. And I'm glad that you're building the elite group, bro. This is always a blessing, bro. That's all I got.
Thank you very much for giving us a call now. We appreciate that. Yeah, there's success porn out there. There's failure porn. It doesn't matter which end of the spectrum you're on. There's somebody with some content to feed you. No matter which end of the spectrum you're on. And by the way, please remember, folks, how YouTube's algorithm works. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but particularly Facebook and YouTube. Those are the two biggest offenders. Their algorithm is set up to feed you inflammatory things, because what their data showed was that you are far more likely to engage with things you don't agree with things that aggravate you, frustrate you, enrage you. You're actually more likely to engage with that. You're more likely to listen to that. You're more likely to sit and ingest that. So next thing you know, they're feeding you a steady pipeline of stuff that is spiking your emotions and aggravating you and inflaming you. So if the women ain't giving you no play, you get video after video about these women are screwed up, these women are stupid, these women are suck. Video after video doing that. When you really need to be looking at a video that tells you how to change the shocks on a car. What? You want to talk about being more appealing? That would be. That right there would. Let me tell you, that's damn useful. But we don't talk about that. Every female in here wants to buy a car. She wants to have an exotic. That ain't gonna happen. Hey, nigga, figure out how to change the damn oil on her Nissan Altima.
And deal with it.
How about that? To the fellas in here, you would be surprised, shocked just how many females there are who that's the kind of thing they'll respond to. They will respond to you talking about doing car maintenance. There's a whole bunch of chicks in here right now. Every single female in here just about has messed up a car because she didn't do maintenance on it. Just about every female in here has a horror story of a car that she completely destroyed, blew out the engine, blew out the transmission, blew out the radiator, had to go buy a whole new car simply because she didn't do the maintenance on it. Supposed to change the oil at 3,000 miles, 15,000 miles later, oil light came on. She drives the car until it starts smoking. She ends up being one of those videos on Dave's Garage on YouTube. The oil comes out like molasses. Okay, women love a good mechanic who charges fair prices. You know what they love more? A boyfriend who ain't gonna charge nothing.
And deal with it, nigga.
You know what they love even more? A man who ain't gonna charge them anything. No passport required, nigga. Do you have an oil filter wrench? Do you have a socket wrench and an oil filter wrench and an oil pan? I dare you to get up under her car and change her oil and come back out and she doesn't look at you with them heart-shaped eyes talking about my hero. I dare you. Fellas don't know how to set up the damn play. Have her call the dealership, get the price for an oil change. Have her call Valvoline or Quickie Lube and get the price for an oil change. And then you tell her, look here, $50, I get that knocked out for you. $45, I get that knocked out for you. Let me tell y'all, women is always struggling. All she can think of is I'll be damned. So the Valvoline wants $120. This dude over here do it for $45. She like, let me go spend that $60 on some hair, some makeup, some lipstick. That's $60, $70 she get to keep? What, are you kidding me? And let's not even talk about the stuff that mechanic shops get over on. Things that cost very little and they are what we call consumables. Oil is a consumable. Gasoline's a consumable. Brakes are a consumable. But guess what? So are shocks. Struts are a consumable. And for the majority of cars, front struts are held on by 4, maybe 5 bolts. If you have a Magna ride like GM Cadillac, okay, you got to take off the air pump hose. If you got Mercedes air ride suspension, a little bit more complicated. Whole bunch of chicks out here driving Mercedes. First time that air ride gets in a problem, she's going to have to sell the car. Because nobody told her that it's $1,500 to $2,000 for the struts. And then they want another couple of $1,000 to put them on. Nobody told her that. Okay, you can get the struts aftermarket maybe for $1,500. That's a hell of a whole lot less than the $4,000 or $5,000 Mercedes wants to change it. Let's talk about brakes. The average brake job, not counting rotors, but brake pads, you're looking at what, $20, $30? Okay, but a shop is going to charge her $400 to $800 to change the brakes. I'm talking about even if they don't change the brake pads. I mean, even if they don't change the rotors. If all they do is change brake pads, man, you're looking at anywhere from $400 to $800. Now, every male in here who's done brake calipers, you know full damn well what it takes to get the brake pads off. $20 for the pads, $30 if you get the really nice ones. And the rest of that $400 to $800 is straight profit. That is just straight profit they make. Take them an hour to do the brake pads. And if your woman leaves the car, here's the way the game goes, y'all. They got a brake job to do. They put the man on the car. They change the brakes in about an hour. They don't call your woman back for another 3-4 hours. What? Every female in here, you done got with that one. Every chick up in here, you been got with that one. I'm just letting you know right now. Firestone, wherever you go. Firestone, Pep Boys, every female in here, you done got with that one. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm making a bunch of y'all mad right now. A bunch of y'all chicks done got with that one. You at Pep Boys, they take your car in there, they take it in the back and tell you they put it up on the damn lift. Baby, you sitting in there watching The Young and the Restless and The Price is Right and every TV show thinking they back there working. That man ain't touched that car yet. Or if he did, they did most of the work and then left it sitting, jumped in another one, finished it up 3-4 hours later. They go ahead and put it back together and then tell you, okay, your car's ready. They finished that car within the hour. Every female in here who took a car in to get fixed, you done got with that one. I know you have. Oh, that y'all notice the females got quiet in the chat room, y'all. Damn. Oh man, did y'all see the females got quiet? Oh, they hating now. Oh, the ladies didn't like it. Yeah, your red pill channels and your daddy didn't tell you about that one. Oh, the ladies didn't like that one. Oh, the ladies are like, oh, Jason, you're hurting me over here. I mean, damn, that nigga looks shady. Oh, I knew that nigga at the shop looked shady as hell. Yeah, ladies, I'm just letting you know that's how it go down. That's how it goes down. Every single female in here done got with the brake pads. All of you. Now all the ladies in here are comparing notes and saying, I'll be damned, Jason. How is it you live in Louisiana and you know how much my brake job costs? Because it's the same hustle everywhere. $400 to $800. Go on AutoZone.com, Advance.com, O'Reilly's.com, and go price the brake pads for your cars, ladies. $20 to $30 for the pads. And that man's going to charge you anywhere from $400 to $800. That's standard get over on you price. And if we talk about struts, to change, well, you used to call them shocks. They're actually struts now. But to change the shocks on a car, oh, that's not measured in hundreds. That's measured in thousands. If you have a late model car, well, that's thousands. They'll look at you with won't bat eye. Now, you can go get cheaper shocks if you want to. I mean, it depends on the car that you have. But, oh, no. That's it. They're gonna give you the business. Let me tell y'all right now, every man in here who has ever worked on a female's car, fellas, give me the wrench emoji if you done had a female who was so happy that you fixed on her car that she was willing to give you a date. Damn. Fellas, if you've had a female who was so happy that you fixed her car, you was able to fix it because the man hit her with $1,000, $2,000 bill, and you was able to get that knocked out for a couple $100. And she was like, I think I done found my new boyfriend. Give me the wrench emoji. So you don't need no damn red pill. You don't need no damn YouTube channel when you had this kind of experience. You don't need that. You don't need it. Have you ever seen a female sitting over there trying to struggle with some damn lugs on a car? What? Let's quit the bull jive. Hey, Harmeet Kara, have you ever seen a female 108 pounds trying to fight with the damn lugs on a car? It looks like a damn comedy skit from In Living Color. Trying to fight with the lugs on the car. And Lord forbid she tried to do the damn bolts on the shocks. She ain't getting that off. She's not gonna get those off. It ain't happening. They put the lugs on your car on with an impact wrench. They put that on with an air compressor and an impact wrench. Your female can't get that off. Hell, a lot of the fellas, you got to jerk on that damn thing to get that off. She ain't going to ever get that off. Ever. That's it. That car's going to the wrecking yard with that wheel on there. She can't get that off. Much less get off the brake caliper, get off the struts. Hell, they can't even get out the oil plug. Damn. The average female can't get the oil plug off. Hell, the average man struggles to get the oil filter off once the damn oil change place done got through with us. They put that damn oil thing on there with that oil wrench. For men, it's hard for us to get the oil filter off of a car. If the oil change shop got a hold of it, or the dealership, they try to put it on there as tight as they can to keep you from getting it off. No, there's not a single female who's trying to figure out how to get some elbow grease to get them damn lugs off. Not happening. Fellas, y'all know full, if you want to punish a female, oh, we getting evil tonight. If you want to punish a female, tell her take her damn lugs off. Oh, if you want to hurt a female, tell her to take the lugs off. Black Ambrosia says she had her oil change yesterday for $25. What? Hey, baby, you dry snitching on yourself up in here. Don't do that, babe. Don't tell them tales. I believe you're telling the truth, baby, but you saying too much, no? Oh, she didn't catch herself there, y'all, did she? She didn't catch herself, baby. The oil, it costs more for the oil than $25. The $25, it costs more for oil than $25. Hell, the damn filter is $12. So, oh man, she didn't catch that. Hey, what she saying? Ain't no shame in the game, man. I ain't mad at you. Ain't no shame in the game. Oh, now she trying to clean it up. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. That's it. Sit down, girl. That's a wrap. Now she trying to clean it up. Baby, it's too late for that. You had a moment of candor. We ain't mad at you. We are not mad at you. Baby, look, times is tight out here. You can't be throwing money at Valvoline every week. You can't throw money at the Quickie Lube people every week. Can anybody do that? We are not mad. We respected you more when you kept it real. When you just kept it all the way funky, we were good with that. We were good with that. Now she's trying to go back and clean it up. Girl, don't do that. Don't do that. First of all, don't a single female in here, don't act like you ain't did it.
And deal with it, nigga.
Oh, let's just keep this all the way real tonight. There's not a single female in here, black, white, Asian, Latina. There's not a single female in here who ain't had to do what she had to do to get her car fixed. You got to get to work no matter what. So I'm not going to tell you all to have a confessional tonight, but I'm just going to say, hey, let's not talk stupid up there. Let's not do that. Don't nobody get on their high horse talking like they holier than thou and better than. Every female in here done did it. All of y'all up in here, you done got caught after the warranty was up. You got caught after that warranty was up. Alternator went out. Oil pan had to be done. Brakes is grinding. Shocks gave out. Every one of y'all up in here had to get that thing ready to get back to work. Let's not do that. Anybody talking about they ain't never did it, just sit your ass down. Just stop. If you're denying it, you're snitching on yourself. Just quit. Quit. We still respect you. Every female has a complaint about a mechanic shop, and females, chicks out here, they'll have kids to get a discount on housing, and you telling me what you won't do to get a discount. You in the UK, that just means you know about that business, girl. What is you trying to pull? Anyway, like these females won't do what they got to do to get a discount on their car service. When she told the dealership kiss her ass, she meant that. Like the females won't get dirty with it. A dealership wants damn me $2,000 for something. And she's like, this nigga over here do it for $500. She's like, oh, wait a minute. Let me get this twerk discount right quick. What are you talking about? Fellas, when we talk about the men that females sleep with and don't say nothing about, yeah, she'll tell you about them 3 fellas in college. Did she tell you about the niggas that changed her differential fluid? Damn. Did she tell you about him? Did she tell you about the fella who changed her fuel pump? What? Have you ever tried to change the fuel pump in a car, ladies? To the women listening, you do know you have to drop the gas tank to get the fuel pump out, right? Except for certain models, some might have it where you have the fuel pump goes in the side, but you still got to drop the gas tank to get it. Ladies, you try get your little ass up under there, and even if you could drain the gas tank, which you won't do, you're not going to drain your gas tank. You don't even know how to drain it. Okay, so you got a full ass gas tank. You got to change the fuel pump. You got to drop the gas tank to get the fuel pump out. Oh hell! Somebody said what? No, the ladies don't know about that. You have to drop the gas tank to get the fuel pump out of a car. So if your fuel pump goes out, okay, get ready to rumble. Get ready to rumble. Oh, it's going down. Because the car's not going anywhere with the fuel pump out. You're not going anywhere. You're going to stop right where you are. The only way to fix that, drop that fuel tank, get the quick connects off of it, and go fight with the damn pressure. By the way, for men, every man who's tried to do a fuel pump, a fuel filter, has sprayed himself in the face with gasoline. That don't feel nice. So hell yeah, the first time you get hit with a bill like that, and then you go to YouTube and see some how-to videos, okay, jack up car, okay, I go buy me a car, jack. Whoa, drop fuel tank, damn, that thing look heavy. Let me find a nigga to go do this. That's exactly what it is. Everybody trying to act Diddy and brand new, I'll be damned. Fellas, we know what the damn truth is. A mechanic bill break all these chicks down. A mechanic's bill will break all of y'all down, period. Especially when they call 3 places and get the same damn answer. Oh, a mechanic's bill break all of y'all down. There's not a feminist on this planet when the mechanic bill shows up. When that man hits you with them numbers for them parts and labor, there's not a feminist on the planet. Can't find one. Even the hardest little stud be putting on her damn lipstick and her makeup when she take a look at that repair bill. In the city with no pity and the mechanic with no mercy. Go call CNN's writer and see if she gonna help you with that. Oh, they say I'm spilling everybody's business tonight. All right, let me go ahead and get Caleb up here on Zoom. What's on your mind, brother?
Man, TBA, you know what it is, man. It's just more government. You already know who it is on the 305. This your boy One Love, man.
Oh, it's One Love. What's on your mind, brother?
Man, you know you be on it. I had to hit you up. Two things you said. First, when you had old Moist dude laying there and them dude laps, I told you I'd be listening in the shadows now. I'd be writing. And I just listen to you in the shadow. But when you asked that question, I mean, grown men are laid in somebody's lap since they were 19. And you was like, don't that make you feel masculine? And, you know, we share the same weather pattern. You over there at Shreveport, I'm right here in Birmingham right now. You had all this bad weather. And right when you were saying that, I was chopping wood for all the trees and limbs that done fell down from all this, bad weather to throw in my fire pit tonight, because I was working on my car. And I said, you know what? That should be embarrassing to anybody, TBA, to anybody. And the other thing is, these same women that you're talking about, forget the feminine males, the woman who you would call disgusting, properly described disgusting, you're absolutely right. They hate the masculinity from the men who they saying that they want. When you act like that, they hate it when it's coming from a feminist. You know, from a feminist attitude or point of view, they don't want that. They do want you to be female. And I got something to show you, TBA, to prove it. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, yeah. But I also want, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying, oh yeah, Corvette.
Yeah. Here's the other thing I wanted you to see. I got it all set up for you. You see the tag on it? I had that for a couple years.
All right, this legit.
Yeah. You know, and they go to fire pit. That's the wood I cut. You know, they don't want no weak dude. They can't stand a weak dude.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be writing articles advocating for exactly the type of men they would despise. If they had one, they'd be whooping him and calling him a sissy and every damn thing else. That's the killing part.
Bruh, you know how long I've been following you, TBA. You know, I used to have to tell you a little issues I was having with the wife. Matter of fact, there go the oil wrench right there. But matter of fact, all those issues, I used to tell her, if I was, you don't talk. You not emotion. I said, if I was that dude, we'd have never got together. Yeah, well, I wanted dude to cry. I said, if I ever cried in front of you, you would lose so much respect for me that even though she's such a little, water bag, I said, you would lose respect for me. My wife seen me cry one time in 15 years. That was at my grandma's funeral, and she had to see that from a distance because my whole family had to leave. And I gave my babies to the family, let them go sit in the limos while I sat there and talked to my grandma for the last physical time. You see what I'm saying? That I could see her. They don't want those weak men. They want to see how weak that man is. If you cry in front of them, like you saying, that gives them a reason to not respect you. They already want a reason. You have to give them a reason. We got to, as kids, as boys, we got to scrape our elbows, our knees. You saying so much truth tonight. I know I'm going back on what you said earlier, but that's how we learn. The females are always protected. They live in a bubble. So when you get to a man, a boy becoming a man, that's when the female can't even touch him. I was at a little therapy office today, not psychotherapy, physical therapy. And the lady asked, because somebody came in there with a baby. She said, you got kids? I said, yeah, I got 2 boys. She said, what's the hardest thing about them? I said, it's yet to come. And she looked confused. I said, they 11 and 9. She said, well, mine in middle school. TBI, I told her, you ain't gonna see it until they turn 14, 15. And she said, well, why? And I land on this. I said, because that's when you, as the man, where the man in the house starts to give them responsibility, and they're reacting off the responsibility and how the world is treating them. That's when they're going to start to react different.
Look here, brother.
To the world and to you.
It's the month of May right now.
Yes,
so what
sir.
that means is all across the country, these kids are graduating from high school.
Exactly.
And every year it's the same thing. Brother, they're not ready for it. Most of them are not ready because I'm like, you don't understand. When you walk across that stage, that is literally the very last time that anybody as a group is going to treat you like a kid. I'm talking about literally it's going to be flipping a switch the next time everybody, including these teachers at this school, if they walk by you at the grocery store, the Walmart, the hardware store, you're another adult now. You are not a student no more. You're not a kid no more. The way the entire world is about to treat you is about to flip on the switch. This is the very last day. These are the very last minutes that you'll be treated that way. And you're going to be like the rest of us and going crazy. It's like, what happened to y'all? Why y'all doing all this here? That's how you have to be prepared, especially for boys. Men have to be prepared for that right there, because the difference is if you're an 18-year-old male, you got to be useful. An 18-year-old female can still skate just being cute. Niggas been sitting around waiting. Okay, finally you legal age. They figure, okay, there might be a different lane for you. For boys, you have to be useful. There is no alternate lane for you. You are useful or you're discarded. It's really that simple. You can't be nobody's showboat, nobody's show pony. You can't be nobody's eye candy. Nobody has been sitting there, boy, I can't wait till he turns 18. It ain't none of that. You gotta hurry up and get useful or get left behind.
Last thing, if I could, you also mentioned the things in being recognized in places as far as status. I'm originally from Miami. I had my business celebration down there, and it is a difference. And I didn't even recognize it, TBA, until you said it. And I'm from Miami. I'll probably be going back down there in July for a wedding, but I left Miami in 2012. I just visit, annually. But you said something that I just recognized when you said it. When I did my business, I had that meeting I told you with DOT back in 22, and we was at the Marriott Bonvoy. I had the Marriott Bonvoy, and they was also aware of the DOT meeting. And I did my celebration for getting the deal. And are you familiar with Smith and Walensky right there on Miami Beach? We did it at Smith and Walensky. And like you were saying about Ferrari, if you ain't got no California, you can't get the F90 and this and that. It was people there. Hindsight is 2020. It was people there that probably just eat lunch there every day, and it wasn't no big thing. But because we had the reservations and the amount we put down for the reservations, I guess met the threshold of their minimum. Dude, we had like three waiters. Our main waiter had 2 assistants. It was all on a business account, so it was all good. But that was the first time I did that, and I didn't understand why we had the 2. And then they brought another one, and I had to ask one of the other waiters, one of the hostess, hey, why everybody being so nice to us? Why do we get all this attention? And why is everybody else looking at us? It was a party of 7. We all black men, all bald and beards. And everybody was looking at us like, and she said, oh, y'all got the premier table, the center table, because of your reservations. And I never knew that until that happened. And I thought that was just a one-off until you start mentioning, what you was mentioning about Ferrari, and no matter how much money you can have, it's the status. And when you just start mentioning that, I was on that team for the renovations at MIA Airport. And they knew about it because that was going to stimulate, their business, their economy. So you always on point. You always on point. And I just had to mention that. You know what I mean? TBA, you keep cooking, you keep doing God's work, man. Whatever people don't believe, you got to leave the non-believers on the side that you leave them on. And when you get to the other side, just keep doing the work because they can't get over there until you finish, man. Be one.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, brother. We appreciate that. Yeah, like I say, when you go somewhere, man, you find out stuff. That's why I encourage fellas here, price those things just one time. Get your VIP, get your vice presidential, get your presidential, get your governor suite, get your ambassador suite. Just do it one time. You'll be surprised some of the things that happen. They, for Marriott, for example, Westin Bonaventure in Los Angeles, Mandarin Oriental, they bring you champagne. I don't even drink. I don't even drink. They bring you champagne. It's actually a little annoying to me, but if you get one of the ambassador suites, governor suites, vice presidential, they bring you champagne. Mandarin Oriental, they bring you you get signature, they get you chocolates, and They bring you chocolates and a bunch of other things. You know, chocolates. This really really nice. This really really nice mousse, although it's not mousse. They bring you those things that just for showing up. Trump International, same thing. They love bring you sweets. They love bringing you sweets. And what I'm saying is you don't find that stuff out till later. So if you're really doing, I know what I'm saying is that's for the females. That really, really is. That's for them. I mean, ain't no man ever went to a hotel and just, oh, great, I wish they had candy here. No, that's the females love it. The females love it when they do that. But for us, it's like, and yeah, when you go there, you can get accustomed to that kind of thing very, very quickly. You sure can. You get accustomed to it very quickly. Hell yeah, they want that. Here's the thing, though. It ain't going to be no soft man who's going to get it. It's not going to be a soft man who's going to get it. It's going to be a fellow who's built for battle, who's going to take care of those things, because being extraordinary is hard. Being ordinary is easy. Being extraordinary is hard. Let me explain to you here. Harmeet here, if you give in to this garbage she's talking about, she's going to punish you. She has no regard, no interest, and no love for a man who would give into this mess. What is she going to do with a man who lets a woman tell him how to be a man? You think that's ultimately what she's looking to bow to or submit to or to be a partner to, is a man who would let a woman tell him how to be a man? Or who would even look to a woman to advise him or tell him how to be a man? What the hell would he do with her? That'd be ridiculous. Oh, in the chat room, I'm messing up here. I'm messing up. Okay, I messed up in the chat room. And I didn't. Let me go back here. Let me put the Zoom link back up. I'm messing up. I was too busy jawboning about these women lying about car repairs. Damn! I didn't pin the Zoom link. Let me go ahead and do that right quick. Shout out here to Amir Miller, KDH2408, B1. Thank you very much for giving us your support tonight. Snatch say you always have to do maintenance, ladies. Vehicles are costly. They don't need to do that. Don't worry about it. Let them freestyle. Let them listen to their favorite feminists. Let them sit around with their auntie them. Let them sit around whining and pitching and moaning and complaining. Let them go ahead and do that. Let them do that. But just understand, when there's repair bills, there's not a feminist to be found nowhere. When women have to do manual labor, they don't look to call another chick. If there's not a man around, she start counting her pennies. Every man who has been in here who has had to do it, let me tell you, you ain't never seen a chick who wasn't grateful when a car needed to be fixed on. Dealerships, repair shops, they have no mercy. They have no mercy. None whatsoever. This is the bill. This what it costs. If you can't get it, buy a bicycle, heifer. They don't give a damn what you ain't got. It is what it is. So under those kind of circumstances, can you imagine that right there? Hey, Harmeet. So you got a man, imagine this, folks. She's telling you how to be a man, that you need to be most sensitive. So let me get this straight. So when the car repair bills show up and you ain't really got the money like that, you mean to tell me she's going to respect a man who his response is to start crying? You all really think that she's going to respect a man whose response to the car repair bill is to start crying? You think she's going to go for that? You tell me a female who's like, okay, there's adversity out here. It's a tough time. Well, you know, I didn't want to spiral about all the repair shop, but now that I'm with you, I'm gonna get in touch with my feelings here while I was shooting. Man, nigga, you better get in touch with a socket wrench. You better get in touch with a socket wrench. That's what you better do. Then she will have absolutely no regard, no mercy, no patience for a man who there's adversity and difficulty going on and he wants to start boo-hooing and singing the blues. You think she wants to hear you talk about how you're sensitive? How you don't want to be defined by what you do? How you don't want to be told to man up? This heifer on the screen should be the first one telling you man up if you start crying when something goes wrong. Don't be boo-hooing in front of me, nigga. She'll be the first one belittling you and criticizing you and mocking you for crying. And she'll be the first one sitting up here laying up with a mechanic who can fix it or a plumber who can fix it. But what she will not do is have respect for the one who could not actually resolve the issue. 720 degrees of the analysis you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. She wrote a whole article lying her shovel nose self the whole time talking about men, getting in touch with your feelings and what are you going to do about it instead of getting in touch with my feelings and sitting with them. She's not going to value, if something's wrong, she's not going to value a man who taps into his feelings and then sits with it. She's going to be like, hey, hurry up and get over them feelings so we can get this resolved. She's not going to value you. She's not going to talk about how great it is. If she does, she's going to be like, okay, you got 60 seconds to cry, and then you need to get to work on fixing this. Now, that's going to be what she's going to say. You got about 60 seconds to boo-hoo and sing the blues, and then you need to get back at it. And bring me some answers. And give me some solutions and some results. And I'm glad to say that the younger generation of men are not going for it. However, they're lacking some essential tools, some essential rites of passage. Not just rites of passage, but necessary skills. We don't teach woodworking in schools anymore. We don't teach mechanic class, shop class. We don't teach those things anymore. Young men today don't grow up knowing even what that is. They're raised by a bunch of single moms, and while she can do something strange for an oil change, that doesn't mean that her son's able to pay attention. See, if he doesn't have a man to bring him up under that car with him and show him the procedure for taking off the oil filter and the oil drain plug, to show him how to disassemble the radiator if it's got to be changed, to show him how to change the alternator, to show him how to disconnect the battery if you need to do any real work under the hood, or basic stuff like changing the air filters. Women get got all the time, every day. Women get got. They get got with air filters, particularly on German cars. Let me go ahead and spill the tea there. Females sit up here and run their damn jawbone about getting a German car. She gets a BMW, she gets a Mercedes, has no earthly clue how to change the engine air filters. You want to go off and go get some Mercedes AMG with dual tailpipes. Okay, but it also has dual engine air filters. It's not like GM or other car manufacturers where there's just one. Well, you've got dual engine air filters. Now what? Now what? So you love the car and then Mercedes gets you up in there. They're like, okay, this will be $300 to change the air filters. You have to do that. That's a service. That's part of your 330. Your 330 or your 33K, whichever one you're on. 330 or 33K, whichever one comes first. Oh, they didn't tell you that when you went to go buy it. You didn't know that. Got heifers out here with damn oil filters on that they bought. Have no idea. Oh, they don't want to know. They don't want to know about the cabin air filter. They don't want to know about that one. All these chicks up in here with their Mercedes and whatnot, they don't know about the cabin air filter where you have to go up under the dashboard, under the glove box. Now, I'm not talking about the regular take down the glove box because on some Mercedes, they have 3 air filters. Actually, 4. What? On some Mercedes, they have 4. The GLE, the GLS, They can have up to 4 air filters, the 2 engine air filters, the under the hood air filter, and then the air conditioner filter. So there's a filter for the air conditioner. She doesn't know that. She's going to go buy the car and figure that this is the same as when she had her Toyota. Then Mercedes or BMW or Audi is going to tell her about the 3 A service and B service. And they're going to look at you and say, okay, it's $1,200 without batting an eye. And you telling me what you're not going to do when they tell you it's $1,200 to change your oil in your air filters. Yeah, big talk up in here about what you ain't going to do. Oh, or you can keep driving it. Just take yourself out of warranty. That's fine. Just keep driving it. Because, by the way, Mercedes cars snitch on you. What? Audi snitch on you. Damn. BMW snitch on you.
Nigga, please.
Oh, you didn't know that, ladies? One more thing. Those cars snitch on you. Oh, the ladies didn't know that. Yeah, there's a bunch of chicks right now driving Mercedes and don't understand that your car snitches on you. That Mercedes app, BMW, Audi, you know that they keep records of everything, including one of the most important of all. Whenever you get the oil change, whenever you change your oil on the car, you know that you're supposed to go into the infotainment system so that you can reset the oil monitor, right? Damn. You do know that the car keeps track of that and sends that information to Mercedes, BMW, Audi. You did know that, didn't you, ladies? Oh, ladies, you didn't know that. Oh, you didn't know that they actually have detailed records of if you did the maintenance on the car and they don't have to take your word for it. The car will tell them if you did it. Oh, you didn't know that. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of chicks in here right now, even with their Mercedes CLA. Oh, you got the bottom of the damn barrel. Figured you were safe. And didn't know that, by the way, that car snitches on you. Ask me how I know. For everyone in here who's had one, it sends detailed records to Mercedes, BMW, Audi. Those are the big 3 offenders. They're not the only ones, but they're the big 3 offenders. Oh, it sends detailed records to them. Every time that car has any sort of issue, a dashboard light comes on, all that's sent to them. They know everything. The car snitches on you. If you change the oil and you don't reset the oil monitor, okay, why would you do that? So if you change the oil, you're going to reset the oil monitor. If you didn't change the oil, it's going to know. Okay, so if you change the oil, for example, at 15,000 miles, you're supposed to change the oil every 10, 12,000 miles, and you didn't change it until 15, 20,000 miles, the car is going to log every time that you did that. They don't have to guess if you did. They know. The car told them. Oh, nobody said that to you. Oh, imagine that. Imagine that one. Nobody told you that that's the way they do that. Go figure. Oh, they're going to get you. They know exactly what their car is doing. So, and you're going to tell me what you're not going to do. All right. Ain't no repair bill big enough for that. I ain't got to worry about that. Okay. It's big talk in the damn chat room. Ain't nobody talking trash at the dealership. Nobody's talking trash there. They talk garbage in the chat room. When I ask you a couple of questions from somebody who actually knows, all of a sudden it's going to get real quiet. It's going to get real quiet. Volkswagen owns Audi Neo. Although in some cases, Volkswagen's not much better. It depends. Volkswagen owns Porsche, Audi, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini. But I'm talking about, most of you are not going to have a Bentley or a Bugatti or a Lamborghini. But Audi, BMW, Mercedes, those cars snitch on you. They snitch on you. Remember, most of them now, they don't have remote wireless. You have to have an app to start the car remotely, so you have to have a subscription. Why do you think they did all that? Now you have to have an app to remote start the cars. It's not like GM where you can just do it with the key fob. You have to have an app to remote start the cars. Everything is monitored on it. Whether it's been hit, whether it's been touched, has it been moved, has it been stolen? Is there something going on inside of it? Is the battery low? It tells everything, including maintenance. It will nag you to death about when it's time to do A service and B service. It'll nag you to death about the A service and B service. No, nobody told you about that. So yeah, if you don't do it when you're supposed to do it, the car will snitch. It will tell them when you did. If you don't bring it to them, it'll tell them when you did the maintenance. And if there's anything they can use to get out of that warranty, they'll get to work on getting out of that warranty. Oh, hey, you didn't change your oil, and if your engine's knocking, oh, well, that's not us. That's you. That's you. Yeah, a lot of folks didn't know that. By the way, they don't even have oil dipsticks anymore. What? They don't have transmission dipsticks, and they don't have oil dipsticks anymore. Damn. Anybody who's bought a Mercedes in the Mercedes, BMW, Audi in the last 5 to 7 years, you don't even have oil dipsticks anymore. No, you lost your transmission dipsticks a decade ago. They don't even have oil dipsticks or transmission dipsticks anymore. So you must do your maintenance when you're supposed to do your maintenance, because you don't have any way of checking it on the fly. So all that old stuff you used to do with your Chevy Cruze with the oil leaking, and you just check your oil to see if you're running low. There's no way to check it with a dipstick anymore. You just have to trust that the damn sensor inside the infotainment system is running properly, but you have no way of manually checking the oil levels anymore. Ladies, you ain't ready for the 21st century. Some of you who had some old country daddy teaching you back in the 90s or early 2000s, baby, you ain't ready for your dream car. Sit your ass down somewhere and let the men do what they do. You're not ready for your dream car today, baby. You're under the damn hood making an ass of yourself looking for an oil dipstick that isn't there. Thinking you slick. And didn't even know that there's not oil dipsticks anymore. And you think you ready to go toe to toe with the men as far as who's gonna run this thing. And you're driving down the road on a wing and a prayer, hoping that you're not going to lock the engine up. No, they got you where they want you. You cannot live in this modern society today thinking you just going to be like the old days. The old days are dead and gone. And there's a whole world of folk out there looking to get over on you, and there are just too many opportunities to do it. Too many. And I'm just being nice about those. There's a bunch of cars that are way below that level that have got introduced this new complexity. I won't even get into electric vehicles. I'm just going to leave that alone altogether. Yo chick is sitting around talking about she wants a Mercedes E-Class, a Mercedes GLE, GLS. She wants a BMW 5 Series, 7 Series. She wants an Audi Q7, Q8. And she is completely dumb and clueless about what it takes to even maintain them. Thinking that, okay, well, don't worry, I'll go somewhere other than dealership, and don't understand, baby. It's gotten so, they have redone the cars today that now you can't, for service mode, you have to have the computer to get to them. And now, like Dodge, Dodge has changed the way that all my Dodge heads know with the new Chargers and stuff. Dodge has changed the way that they do things, that you have to have one of their computers to even be able to finish jobs on the car. Like I think it's changing fuel pumps or doing fuel injectors. You have to have one of their computers to, quote, calibrate it after you're done. You can't just change those things and then crank the car up and drive off. No, you can't do that anymore. Everything on these cars that they can get electronically locked down, like those Keurig coffee things that had the little scanners on it, you can't use anything but their pods. Everything they can lock down these cars now, they're trying to do it. Everything that they can mechanically lock down, right up to and including if you do any work on it, you have to have a computer to, quote, calibrate it before you can drive off. And you think you're going to pop off and get slick at the mouth and tell me what you won't do. And what you're not going to do and what won't be required of you. And I ain't got to do that. Okay, to talk that trash to somebody who believes it. Sit your little happy ass over there at the Lexus dealership and they're going to show you the light of day. They're going to show you the light of day. You talking about your dream car and you've been waiting all these years. You are one service call away from bankruptcy. Enjoy that little warranty while you have it, your little 60,000 miles or 3 years, whichever comes first, because they're going to put something critical on your ass just as soon as that's over. Car's still there. Oh, first sign of maintenance. Here we go. Oh, here's a good one. Auto stop and start. Damn. Oh, there's a good one. Auto stop and start. Oh, now isn't that a diabolical invention? So you can't use a regular battery. You have to use the battery with the glass pack in it. So you can't use a regular battery. And it's got this diabolical circuit board that goes on top of their glass pack battery that needs to be, quote, recalibrated if you change the battery. So even if you can afford to go buy a new glass pack battery, and even if you put it in yourself, you still have to calibrate it, the circuit board, after you put it back on there. Oh, ladies, they didn't tell you that. You thought you could go down to AutoZone and go get the battery and slap it in like you did with your 1996 Toyota Tercel. You thought it worked that way. You didn't know if you had a car that has auto stop start, it's a whole different type of battery now. Oh, the salesman at the dealership didn't say anything like that to you, did he? He didn't tell you that part. Oh, okay. Yes, that's for all auto stop start batteries. All auto stop start cars, all of them. If you have an auto stop start car, 9 chances out of 10 it's got to use a glass pack battery. It's not a regular lead acid battery. It's what they call a glass pack. And yeah, has a circuit board on top of it. Yeah, you got to do that. You got to do that. Oh, they didn't explain it to you. Yeah, you're a 21st century strong and independent heifer. Okay, go be strong and independent with that battery. Some of you think you're smart. You're going to go to Google. Glass pack. That battery's almost $300. Damn. And even if it weren't, you still have to get the old one off, put the new one in, and then the calibration. No, this will be several $100s if that battery goes out. And it will. Like any other battery, it will. You'll get a little more life out of it, though, if you turn off the auto stop start every time you get in the car. If your car allows it, because some cars don't. Now, that's if you can actually turn it off, because remember, some cars do not allow you to don't have an auto stop start button to turn it off. You just got to sit with it. You just got to sit with it. Yeah, you see, your grandmama and your mama could be slick at the mouth and go get them another car and do what they do or whatever. They can afford to be a little more slick at the mouth. That's not going to work for you. Unless you want to drive something 20 years old, that won't work for you. Oh, you want something else that's going to hurt your damn feelings? Windshields. What? Oh, you don't want to hear about this. A windshield, get ready to unadd at least $600-$800 for a new windshield. Because remember, most of your cars today have sensors on them. They have that little sensor for rain, or some of them for night vision. They might have it in the windshield. But Mercedes, BMW, Audi, get ready to unask. I'm not talking about aftermarket. I'm not talking about dealership. Aftermarket. You have to replace the windshield. And even if you get it aftermarket, you replace the windshield, you still have to calibrate the sensor up there where the rear view mirror is. That camera that's up in there where the rear view mirror is, that has the sensor that goes out the front of it so you can see whether it's raining or not. Yeah, you got to pay to recalibrate that every time you do the windshield. Every time. Yeah, the days of just go get a $200, $300 windshield from Safelite, that's over. Even if you go to them, you still got to do the calibration. You strong and independent, don't worry, you be all right. But there's going to be more females today riding. I'm talking about white knuckle looking for a chip on their damn windshield. There's going to be more cracked windshields today. You want to know why there's so many cracked windshields out there today? It's because they don't have the money to replace that damn thing. The car they had 15 years ago, they could afford to replace that. The one they got today? No. I mean, you can do it, just understand it's going to cost you twice as much as it did before. You sure you don't want a man around? Maybe he can't replace the damn windshield. It's nice to know that, by the way, he can do your damn filters. He can do your oil changes, your A and your B service. It's nice to have a man who can do that. Because this is not a matter of your opinion, baby. You don't have the upper body strength to take off an oil filter, an oil drain plug, to disassemble a brake caliper, to do the torque. Oh, hell, I'm about to hurt a lot of damn feelings. You ain't never seen a female who can sit there and fight with no damn torque wrench? Baby, if I tell you to put 90 foot-pounds of torque on a bolt, most of you females gonna walk away with tennis elbow or a disconnected shoulder. If I tell you to put 90 foot-pounds of torque on a shock or a strut, which you'll need to do, which, by the way, you'll need to do. The women in here are like, how many foot-pounds? Foot-pound? What the? How do feet got pounds, Jason? What the feet and pounds? What the hell is this nigga talking about? Pound, feet, pounds? He must be talking about pounding on your feet. No, man. Foot-pounds of torque. I'd like to see any female in here try to fight with that. Get ready for CrossFit, baby. Get ready for CrossFit. Don't get me wrong. There will be some of you who will. Most of you can't. I didn't say you don't want to. You can't do that. You cannot do that. She'll be sitting there straining when she sees the little meter go up to only 40 foot-pounds. I'm like, all right, baby, you got to do twice that much. She'll be like, oh, this nigga trying to kill me. All of a sudden, you want a man around. All of a sudden, you want that. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Somebody got to put the damn lugs back on the tire. Damn. By the way, baby, when I get done with this, somebody got to put these lugs back on the tire. Oh, don't let her have an SUV, y'all. Don't let her have an SUV. Now, let me tell you right now, you know me, full-size SUVs ain't nothing but 22s, 24s all day long. I'd like to see a female try to pick up a 22-inch wheel. Not a 24. I'm going to take it easy on you, ladies. You ain't got to do my 24s. You can just do my 22s. I would like to see a single female in here try to get those up on the lugs. Niggas should be scratching and scraping everything up under there. She can't get it in the air. That's just out the question. She'll just be sitting over there just rolling around fighting with it. But what ain't gonna happen is get it on the car. She gonna be exhausted just looking. Fellas, if you ever want to be evil to a female, just take them lugs off, take the tire off. You ain't got to ruin the car. Just take the lugs and the tire off and just leave it on the jack stand. Tell her, okay, put it back on there. Okay, you don't need no man? Fine. Put the wheel back on there. Your wheel's right there, your lugs right there. You good. You good. Boy, she gonna call every damn body she can. She is not about do that before she got to go to work. Oh, she gonna miss the whole damn day. Whole damn day gone. She gonna try to lift that tire up one damn time. She gonna try to lift that tire up one time when she start feeling that strain in that elbow. Oh, that's a wrap, nigga. That's a wrap. Oh, she done. Let me go ahead and get back over here on Zoom. Let me see who I got. Well, I'm hurting some women's feelings tonight, boy. The ladies are like, I'll be damned. This nigga is ruthless. Baby, I'm not ruthless. The game is ruthless. I'm just trying to prepare you for it. Okay, if you're on Zoom, make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on for me here. Just make sure we don't have any trolling issues. Don't worry, the internet will not see you. But if you're going to be on Zoom, I need to hear you and see you here. So if you're on Zoom, I got somebody here who's on Zoom right now, and he's permanent vacation. All right. Yeah, like I say, ladies, it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. Mr. King, you're right about some of that for Audi and Mercedes. Oh, you don't want to get in the Bentley, by the way. Okay, so for Audi, Mercedes, some of their models, they have batteries like it'll be one in the hood and then an accessory battery inside the car. Usually it's behind the driver's seat. So I'd have to check about seeing one under the driver's seat, but usually you'll be behind it. Mercedes for the G-Wagon, they used to have a battery that was one in the hood and one in the back, one in the middle, right behind the in the center, between the front seat and the back seat, center console. So yeah, you got batteries that some of these models are inside the car. You don't even want to get into things like Bentleys. You can't even get to those. You can't touch them. They're in the back. They're squirreled away. Baby, what you talking about? What are you talking about? Range Rover? What we talking about here, man? Which of these you gonna fix on? Which of these are you gonna do? It ain't nothing nice about what that's going to be. I'm just telling you right. I'm telling you as a man, sometimes I've had to get up into the damn truck and fight with one of those oil plugs up into there. I know you ain't doing it. I know you're not. And that's easy stuff. We just talking about cars. We're not talking about plumbing, house repairs, God help, electrical. You ain't doing none of that. You got a riding mower. The women will drive it. Be damned if she's going to change blades or a belt on it. You want to see a female break down in tears? Tell her to get out there and change the belt on a riding mower. There's not going to be a single female who will not panic. Tell her, you know what? Change that belt on the riding mower yourself. I'm going to go take a nap. You change the belt on the riding mower. I'll cut the grass. We're going to switch up today. Today, I'll do the grass and you change the belt. Well, let's switch up. Yeah, that's gonna go very, very quick, very, very ugly. Very, very quick, and look at all the females in this saying, damn, yeah, that's gonna go real quick, real ugly. That's gonna go very ugly, very quickly. Right there. Her yard gonna look like Vietnam if she has to do the changing on it. Telling me about what the men ain't doing. Telling me about what the men ain't doing. For most of those things, you have to actually have a bolt, or you have to have a crescent wrench on top of it and a socket wrench on the bottom, for example, to get the blades off on most of them. So women ain't ready for that. Wait a minute, I gotta hold it at the top and the bottom? Yeah. Yeah, you do. But first, you're gonna have to get it up in the air. What? Oh, first you gotta get it up in the air first. You can't just do it while it's on the ground. I mean, you're gonna have to get it up in the air some so you have enough room to be able to work. Telling me about what you ain't gonna do? Tell me one more time about what you won't do again. Tell me one more time. About how the other females gotta do that, but you ain't gonna do that. Tell me one more again about that. See, that's a whole different thing right there. You see, with a car, you can get a tow truck to take it to a shop. With a mower, that's going to be a different issue. That's going to be a different issue with a mower. Doesn't quite work that way. So what do you do now? You're gonna put your riding mower in the back of your Toyota Corolla? What you gonna do? In the back of your Nissan Murano, ladies? What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Get a push mower? That's real easy to do, except in a place like Louisiana in July when it's 105. I mean, you can do it. Don't get me wrong. She'll be up cutting at 3 a.m, but that's not going to help if you can't get it started. Come on, y'all. When's the last time you saw a female with a push mower? Come on, man. When's the last time you saw a female with a push mower? When's the last time any of y'all witnessed that? It's all fun and games right up until you do that. There's so much to that. It's fun and games right up until you do that. Oh, you want to know another one where ladies get got? Appliance repair. What? There's a whole bunch of females and then pay $500-$600 for a $10 relay. $10 relay, $25 motor in the freezer. $40 circuit board on an oven. Whole bunch of females then got with that one. There's a whole bunch of chicks then got with that one. If you're a female who's paid for any of those type of repairs, you got. If you had a man, you probably made out pretty good. You didn't, you got. You got. While they sitting up here trying to tell you about masculinity. Masculinity is stubborn for a reason. We get better deals on cars than women for a reason. It isn't because the salesmen don't want to get over on us. It's because as men, we are competitive and we understand that, yeah, that price at the dealership, that's a suggestion. I'm not bamboozled by makeup mirrors and all that nonsense. I'm looking at this money right here. And as men, we are competitive. I'm not going to let another man just bully me around. I'm not going to do it. When it comes time to get something fixed on, men understand, hey, look here, partner. Let's just keep it all the way on the bricks. If you try to cheat me, player, that cheating mess is what you do with them single mother broads come up in here. Don't try that with me. I already looked at it to see what's working and what ain't. Don't start naming off stuff that ain't no issue. Try that with them broads. Try that with them chicks, because if it go the wrong way here, things can go left quickly. It can go left and it can go left quickly. Try that getting over and being slick with them broads. See, that's the big difference right there. As a man talking to another man, it's the principle of the thing. Hey, dude, it's not about the price here. It's that if I get an inkling you trying to get over, if I get an inkling you trying to stack something on here that shouldn't be, I'm shutting it down. And I might not even be right. But if I even get a hint that you ain't really on the level, much less if I get confirmation. Oh, believe me, it can go left in a minute. With a female, y'all will sit there and talk, you'll squawk, y'all get loud sometimes, okay. With men, they know it's a whole different issue. With men, they know it's going to be a whole different issue. This man didn't pay $80,000 for this vehicle, $100,000 for this vehicle to play no damn games with nobody. He did not do that to play games with you at all. With the females, they'll sit there and go around and get to run around. And he's saying, well, I had to take off the alternator so I can go ahead and change the brakes. And I guess he said that, I had to take out the battery and stuff. And we had to change the air filter so we can go ahead and change the fuel filter so we can change the exhaust filter. And, and you need new catalytic converters. And it's just, as men, it's like, hey, playboy, look here, dude. It's damn me $30 for brake pads. What you talking about? You sure you can't do better than that? What you mean I need new wheels? What you mean I need new wheels, dude? Who you think you talking to? My wheels are fine. At least they were before I came here. My wheels are fine, bro. No, I'm not buying new wheels. I ain't doing none of that. Fix the damn oil pump. All that extra stuff you trying to lock on. No, we ain't doing none of that. No. Ain't trying to have it. Oh, your tires are worn in the back. Oh, I'll be the judge of that. I'll be the judge of that. So they sit there and grab you females. Emotion. Getting in touch with your damn emotions is how they get in touch with your damn bank account. They get y'all females all the damn time. They give you a damn laundry list of things. Well, these tires are worn in the back, and one of your shocks, it looks like it's kind of trying to give out. And these tie rods up here in the front here, it's any day now, and it's, and your oil pan here, it looks like it's slightly a little bit of jar there, and they done rattle off your CV joints. Oh, but these brake pads are kind of thin in the back, These brake pads are getting a little thin in the back. They got y'all chicks going home, panicking. Yep, every female in here done got with that one with the laundry list. You went in there for one thing. You went in there for one thing. Just one. Hey, I got a headlight needs to be replaced. Went in there for one thing, and this man done gave you 12 other items. Then you got like Firestone, levels of severity, even with the little printout that has the colors on it. Oh, here's red, here's yellow, here's orange. All the females are sitting there panicking. He said, I need to change the thermostat. Okay, did he say you need to or did he say you should? Ladies, that's how your asses get got. You see, as men, when we were younger, we've been there and done that. We've already been through all that as men. The fellas you want to sit up here and mock and, oh, he's being too masculine. He got dirt under his nails. The fella you sit up here trying to give a hard time to because he's made your damn life easy. He's made your life so damn easy you can be an ass. We've been there and done that. That's why that's why there's not going to be a second time getting over. Hey, bro, if the thermostat got an issue, the temperature gauge will tell me. Well, yeah, but Jason, your car is at, 60,000 miles, you should change the thermostat. Man, if you don't give me my damn key fob, let me the hell up out of here. You let me worry about the mileage maintenance. You let me do that. Well, dude, it's one of these things right here. Take a look at these back wheels back here. Man, look here, I done had them damn things for 6 months. What are you trying to pull, man? Give my damn key fob. I see single mothers coming to the auto shop and like, you about to get got. Yeah, heifer, you should have stayed with the damn baby daddy. You should have stayed with him. Your ass about to get got. Yeah, you better work some overtime and better get your damn master's degree because you're going to spend the rest of your damn life paying over full price. So this is what you're going to be doing. Let me tell you, fellas, y'all done lived this, and most of the females in here, you've experienced this. The first time that you went to the auto shop and you got told one price, you came back with your man and they gave you a lower, different price.
Damn.
Yeah, females usually only need to get clowned one time for that to happen. You got told one price, showed up with your man, he asked a couple questions. I'm talking about a man in this case. I don't want to say your daddy's because too many of you kiss daddy's ass, but I'll say your daddy too. You show up with a man, whether you're related to him or not, all of a sudden they're giving you a different damn price. He asked a couple questions. Oh, we didn't know that right there. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute, let me rejigger that. All of a sudden he done rejigger the damn numbers and 25% off. Now the price done dropped by 25, 50%. Every female who done got with that one, yeah, she don't ever want a second taste of that hot sauce. She's like, I'll be damned. They'll just do y'all any old kind of way because the problem is for repairs, it won't be the same thing. Next time it won't be brakes. It'll be something else. It won't be brakes the next time you go. So maybe you're smart enough not to fall for that one, but they're like people at a carnival. They're like the folks who are in a carnival. They're trying to get over on every damn body. So when you go back, it'll be something different. Next time, it'll be the headlights. It'll be the filters. It'll be a fuel injector. It'll be an oil pump. It'll be something. It will not be the last thing that you were smart about. So every time you go, you got to be ready to do combat all over again. And here's the thing. They know much more about the car than you do. So they know if you're bluffing. They know if you don't really know what you're talking about and you're just trying to bum the damn price down, or that you're bluffing. They're going to know. You need somebody on your team who knows. That's what the hell you have a man for. Somebody on your damn team who knows. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty, and if he gets given a price and if he's not sure about it, he gonna go look into it. He gonna go call somebody. He's gonna go call his brothers. He's gonna go call them other toxic men that this heifer cower is talking about. He's gonna go call the toxic brotherhood. You know, the fellows who are in the sports and hunting and car repair, he's going to go call the toxic brotherhood. So you can sit over there with Harmeet and all the metrosexual men, but you're going to be one to have a man who can get in touch with the toxic brotherhood. Hey, dude, I'm trying to do these struts. These folks talking about $3,000. Nah, bro, that's the dealership price. Them struts ain't nothing but $400. That other $2,600 is straight profit. Man, if you don't go get on O'Reilly's, go buy these struts right here, you good. I'll come over and help you. That's another thing about us as men. See, that pisses us off as men. I would rather come over and help you with that. If I hear somebody trying to get over on you, oh no, I'm on the way. I would rather I'm coming over to show you they gonna get over on you. Yes, buy these struts right here. Hey, look, I'll come over and help you with it. Just so you can see. As men, that's what we do. No, they're getting over on them brakes. Let me come over and show you. Just get the caliper off. That's all. We're going to bleed the brakes down, pump them back up again. That's it, dude. Save $400. I'll come over and help you. If you're scared, I'll come over and show you how to do it. No woman has ever heard those words from another female about her car.
And deal with it, nigga.
No female has ever heard another female say those words to her about her car. You ain't got no gal pals who ever told you, no, girl, you ain't got to pay all that. Here's what you buy. I'll come over and help you. Every female in here knows if she has any sort of car issue, she on her own. Them other girls ain't gonna help you with nothing. Not a thing. I'm talking about you need help, not you want it. You need it. She ain't coming. I don't give a damn how long you've known her. She'll give your ass a ride to AutoZone. She's not gonna help you fix it. You got to lug that damn repair bill on your own. And when that happens and the man roll up on you with the receipt and he pulling up strong and he telling you the price is the price and this what the bill gonna be, and then you say, well, forget that, and you call 2 other shops and all of them hit you with the same number, oh, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem. You gonna feel some kind of way when they drop the hammer on you and they ain't having no mercy and no pity. You gonna feel some kind of way about that. That's when life gets real. That's when life gets real and uncompromising. You're not gonna want to hear your damn gender studies student or your gender studies professor talking about that garbage. You're gonna be like, man, shut this heifer up and get me some damn toxic masculinity up in here. I ain't got time for this nonsense. But you see, that's the other side of the equation. As men, we cannot sit here and just be used. As men, we cannot just sit here and be used. We're not just tools that you trot out and you accept it when you in need. That's not what we're here for. See, a man is supposed to be respected for that. That's the part that's missing. When a man has the ability to enhance your life, make your life easier, stop you from being one of these chicks out here looking all crazy, fighting with a four-way lug wrench. When you got a man who does that, you got other females out here trying to hump it on their damn own, and you got somebody out here got your back, is competent, knows the business. That's what gives you security. That's what gives you security right there. But it's not enough for you to appreciate that because we got your ass out of a bind. You need to respect masculinity and men doing what they do. This idea that you're going to maneuver us or coerce us into some subservient position. And you're here to sit up here and turn men into women because you're an insecure broad and some whacked out woman. That's the problem right there. That's what's not going to fly. Don't call us because you need something. Everything you do in between that is what demonstrates respect for us. That you respect our ability to do that. That you respect the fact that that takes time and effort. Let me tell you something, ladies. You got a man who has worked on your car. There's a story behind that. Do you understand that?
And deal with it, nigga.
See, the women in here don't get it. There's a story behind that. The reason you have to pay at the mechanic is because he had to learn how to do that. Okay, what did your man have to go through to learn how to do that? He didn't just wake up one morning and there he is. There's a story behind that. There's a story and years, and all of them ain't pleasant. There's a story behind his ability to change your brakes and do those things. There's a story behind his ability to rewire up your cigarette lighter so you can actually charge up your cell phone. There's a story behind that. You're the beneficiary of it, and you act like he just waved a magic wand and he just knew it. That's the part right there. That's why so many hoes, he got his house! I damn sure did!
And deal with it, nigga.
There's a reason that so many hoes got so many bastard kids by so many deadbeat ass males, because you just assumed that a man was born with male genitalia so he knows what to do. And the fact of the matter is, most of these fellas don't know what they doing. So when you got one who does, it's not just, well, of course he does, he's a male. It don't work that way. He can be a male, but if he ain't been in the trenches and did what he had to do in order to be competent at this, he'd be as worthless as that nigga you had them kids by. Everybody can play an Xbox. You have to be taught socket wrenches, crescent wrenches, torque wrenches. You have to learn that. You have to learn to not shock yourself to death on a battery. You have to learn those things. Especially if you're a fellow who's worked on a car for a female who ain't maintained it, which is all of you. Hate it if you want to. A man has to learn that females don't maintain their stuff. So that man, he's been through a life where he had to learn that. And then he's doing it for a female who doesn't appreciate it. She doesn't appreciate it and doesn't value it. And don't respect him for it. She's acting like she's entitled to it. Okay, get your ass on back down there to that damn dealership and let them go ahead and do what they do. Get on back down there and don't get online complaining about the cost of a damn thing. Put on your combat boots and your overalls and you just get back to work over there. You just do that. That's what you do. Maybe after a little bit of that, you'll have some appreciation for masculinity and stop trying to play this sick, psychotic game that you're going to be Hannibal Lecter and twist men into something that they're not. Either because you hate men or because you're so scared that men will see you don't really have a lot going for you and they'll get up and leave. That's the good thing about men is that, by the way, we keep the value quotient where it's supposed to be too under the right circumstances. Most men beg for sex, I understand. But yeah, a man should have the ability and knowledge to get up and leave if you're not worth that much. That's your incentive to make sure you stay straight. Oh, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear that men are going to be a damn welfare charity plan. We just going to drop it off for every damn body. Don't matter how they act. Don't matter what they do. So no, it is not enough to know that we do these things and you going to play nice just long enough to get what you want. No, that's the other side of it. There's that men are noticing that, by the way, how are they treating you when they don't need anything? Or when they think they don't need anything? How are they treating you then? Are they treating you the same when they, quote, don't need anything as they did when her car was broke down? Is she treating you the same? See, ladies, we notice that too. Whole bunch of chicks can't figure out why it is that the fella put them down. Is, yeah, I'm good on you because we noticed how you acted when you no longer needed anything. Yeah, she only acts like she got some sense when she wants something. Or when she needs something. As soon as she don't, it's like, okay, all righty. And the world is not getting cheaper nor less problematic. So Miss Cower is going to have a hard road to hoe. It's going to continue to be a hard road to hoe. The types of men she's encouraging fellas to be, she doesn't even want them. And the types of fellas that she wants ain't really checking for her like that because her attitude is so disgustingly diabolical. So it's going to be rough on her. But the good news is the young men are not following as much as the baby boomers are simping and kissing ass and every damn thing else. What folks are scared of is that they can see what the future is holding. And the future is clearly projecting that there will not be a bunch of males who are going to be looking to replicate that. There's not going to be a bunch of young males who are looking up to these old walked over, stepped over, simptastic dudes out there. They don't want to be like them. They don't want to be like you. You can write all the crazy ass articles you want to. Young men don't want to be like those guys. They don't want to please women like this coward chick. They don't want to please you. They don't care if you don't approve. They don't care about making you happy. Your opinion means nothing. And I host this nice program to reassure the fellas out there. Even she had to confirm that when she did find a few soggy, moist dudes, by the way, they are on the outside looking out. They're not even on the outside looking in. They're nobody. So cry harder, ma'am. Cry harder. Whine more. Howl louder. We'll be good. I want to thank everyone for contributing to Sport Night's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's program. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button. Click that notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. Tomorrow on Patreon. For those of you who are on Patreon, you already know what's coming here tomorrow. This is going to be an in-depth program. I have a number of things I want to touch on and deal with. You may find them encouraging. You will most likely find them disturbing. You will find them all informative. Do with it as you will. For my patrons on tomorrow's program, do with it as you will. I recommend that you tune in for it. A lot of sacred cows will be turned into hamburger. Too much here for YouTube, but on Patreon, you've been warned. Also, by the way, just my patrons, if you know, you know. Did I call it or did I call it? Damn! Why, yes, indeed. Yeah, that ship came in just like I said it would, didn't it? Oh, some of y'all sitting a little bit nice tonight. That ship came in just the way I said it would, didn't it? Got to be in the right place at the right time, listening to the right people. But yeah, it's going to be a very, 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 very merry summer. Yes, it's going to be that. It's going to be that. Don't worry. We'll break it down. In any case, I want to thank you all for tuning in to tonight's program, live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.